Ekosiisen ye bosua wo menesempa de brane mamba obi
Masomo asempa 94.7 FM Ekosiisen dwumedi no asuguso a utie no ma ye nase na ye ma munyina akwaba emfa momra Ekosiisen so midin dio sai bonso from yobi ye de kan ehye mobo se ye benya former defense minister and the sitting member of parliament for the Bimbila constituency ewo studio hanyame adom wabe kansa ansa na na kwaba no ma memfa we mu entwem briefly na afe yenhwe entumi entwa na mehye se obi yiwasum na watie ne ye amayen syntax tank no se wunya enhu bida eye tank ayedi nsuo gum na eho eden papa syntax tank enti ye ka syntax tank a ojeso eye strong eye tough eye de ifri so be hwe fom ni bi kra na nsuo wo mu a enye hwe very very durable, you know. It be modern say obetima ma wonsa akan bi. And the good news ne say yen ye introduce double layer tanks eba Ghana ha first. Yen so na inner white layer into tanka ye muni fita asase ye fia wo behu na wahwie nsuo na firi mu atwitwim yen ye de bi eba Ghana ha first. Syntax tank yen so ne ye tank in color bi a opebia ye be ye amount ye tanks ne ye just black and kwa every color opebia no ye be ye ede amount say unche busua bi ade da me pa chew bo modern say wo beto syntax tank ba kon ede a che busua bi na o de ma won a enye gift for enenkwa it's for a lifetime. It is challenge what solve one problem for a lifetime. One access to clean water. In the moment ye challenge opebi atwa na the wa opebi atwa mobi onso pese o to bi si field udi bi si office a dine so me pa chow 0244 335 168 na oni yen enkasa 0244 335 168 na bomodin na oni yen eni nkomo. Translite solar so aba amount ye pese sika utua ewo electricity bills no ye teso amount ekwan a ye fa so aboa ene say we want you to use solar enti ye beba be set ye solar system ne bia ma wo efie ana say wadwumem na ubehu no nioma etwe power ewo fie ana say wo office wo air condition wo fridge wo iron ne sa nioma no na wayi e de agu solar system no eso na efe bia waja wo bulb ne wo fan ne ade a entwi bebre no e de ato the normal ECG a ba wo fie no eso ndo obehwe no sika wo betua for power no eso bete drastically because solar ne de wunya e ya afebo e ka wo bebo wo ho aye wo initial investment a de be build the solar system no e de ama wo fie ye de panels e be go dan so ene sa no ani initial investment a wo hia unya ye no wie pe afebo once a wie bonko ade de bia wo power na initial investment ye nim say ade so ama wonti no ye 10th anniversary promotion de kan nyina ne say ukra 49,000 Ghana cedis air kwa e be ye a whole solar system no e the amount na de also we say ubetua down payment of 30% pe unya tua 30% down payment ne has spread the account over 2 years 24 months now the tua the account unya ne bebia I just a Translite solar and it's very simple. And they say goodbye to doomsday and high electricity bills and say hello to uninterrupted sustainable energy through Translite solar. So they we 10th anniversary package in the frame CCR 0504 249 229 0504 249 229 na one enkasa. Royal Kingdom Estate real estate company omono seba nsase amanso eni ho litigation free land one won enkasa. Land acquisition de expert se wo asase na opese esi dan wo so ma ye expert ibesi ama wo opese ye wo architectural drawings ema ye be ye edi ama ena property management wow property na opese ye ba ebe manage ema me pacho ye betimi edisa adwuma na ma kama yanso ye won sase aye ton by ye properties na wa kra na ebri plush areas e sha se fi 90,000 Ghana cedis e bo no e wo form uhwe areas ansase ne wa ye sign of flexible payment plans inti utua ne nkakra ye wa dan ye si aye ton very affordable and yes sign premium furnished apartment and here for short let and as a short rentals e wo East Airport e ho e fe brutal Royal Kingdom Estate office e wo cantonment just opposite Soul Clinic International School. Your email address is sales@royalkingdomestate.com. sales@royalkingdomestate.com and info@royalkingdomestate.com. Ubetimi afreyen was 0557 555 909 0557 555 909 na only Royal Kingdom Estate intimi eninkomo Royal Kingdom Estate building communities nurturing dreams but your person will enjoy instant cost-effective reliable intra-African trade and commerce payment ewo CBG ntiene uko CBG na uyo bi e wudidwa ewo Africa manten yi mu udidwa eko Nigeria udidwa eko South Africa udidwa eko Togo Benin once intra-African trade and commerce so we say wutua car you can do that at CBG Yakofa Pan-African Payment and Settlement System aba your friend PAPS Pan-African Payment and Settlement System PAPS with this system no you can make or receive payment in your home country's currency no wahala crying we no say obi etua woka ebia uni obi edijwa nipa no Nigeria and also South Africa na otua woka obetime tua woka ama waje ni cedis mu direct otua woka in cities direct even though only Ghana call CBG branch be a ben wo Ghana na go and enjoy this fast and reliable service the Pan-African Payment and Settlement Systems. With this you can make or receive payment in your home country's currency no long wahala so up to timu in semi ya free 0302 216 000 0302 216 000 your email is here talk to us at cbg.com.gh talk to us at cbg.com.gh your social media so bit me a share at cbg Ghana ubit me share on all our social media handles in the CBG we stand with you Mamema Honorable Dominic Nitiwul akwaba na afi yemfa nkomo no enhye Honorable akwaba official pa
think about you
bibia boko
na long time it is
adom
say bibia yo
kakra
mi che otefo nyina
etefo so pa na constituency e boko
bimbela dia me say boko me say as normal no problems kakra bibia sio ni issues that normal are normal remember but generally fine concern asunjwe sasunjwe wo
it's true
that's the most important we nipa na otiase and you are life and kasadi whatever you want at the end obenyebi is very important.
It's true. For 8 years you were Minister of Defense on the 7th day of January 2025 Anopan, what was running through your mind knowing say for the first time maybe I won't and call office as Defense Minister?
It's normal say when him say we a politician your mouth post to say minister a president to me now the man and you to me inti we a politician especially Minister of Defense or minister and I bet mama oppose or china inti we are always prepared say minister inti it is not something that was surprising to me now I was prepared for it say and they me a minister or China me minister. It's very normal. I just decided to roll into my normal life as Dominic Nitiwul, member of parliament, serving Bimbula people.
Yeah, I've had people who say when changing government the following morning, sorry, Ojare kwatena ne care mu say or office later no kai say onye minister bi.
Say media and me basa because unim say me a member of parliament. Sure. Na me susuna me member of the transition team.
Okay.
As defense minister you are always member of the transition team. I was very, very busy. Extremely very busy. Within the period almost 2 weeks after the election until they handed over. In fact, not just even 5 days after handing over, the beer I was very, very busy. Me were meeting with me infrastructure. Now me a chairman of the infrastructure committee. Me call infrastructure. Me call the infrastructure committee of the transition. Me call the security committee of the transition. Me call her. Yes. I was very, very busy. So the idea of say Ibia my missy the aura of going to work and then say me call work and then say me call him me need office. Nah, I didn't have it at all. And then immediately I put up my office in parliament. Me say me office in parliament. So knowing say yes, knowing say me sorry me were office in parliament. I have to go there and me hear me Juma and that kind of stuff. And so I didn't miss it. But you say you don't miss your work. It's normal. It's normal. Say Juma for 8 years you are used to a certain routine, and the calls have been here, and calls and that kind of stuff and those things. It's normal.
If you have another opportunity, would you want to go back to the Ministry of Defense? So no opportunity be
and if there are presidents, if the president does not trust you, so when you be a president or you are the ankasa
defense ministry,
you will never take it to the
is it that critical? Then the money critical.
Critical because of the circumstances we find ourselves. When you say African, so US defense is critical because of problems, the fighting, geopolitical West Africa is more than critical because of the situation we find ourselves. Rulers so your four play or they can play, and what they can do or they cannot do. Oh, sorry, Anepa, and I saw your four tutu or Bemakam, tutu or Tamale or Kumasi. Is it would there be a democracy?
No,
and you're cool.
Just
firing. Mutiny, firing. They are in town now. They are shooting in town by heart. Would there be? You need someone who can manage the system. You need someone who can make sure, say, I saw your phone. They are okay. They are being managed well. They are complaining about because you put them in a barracks, and yet you say other security service barracks. You put them in a barracks, and then training. They are doing this duty. They are virtually always in the bush working. Some of them 6 months. They are always working. You have to get someone who manage them. If bullets are flying, they will have to go there and take the bullets for the nation. So won't me and Nepal manage a group of people? It can create a big problem for you, and even image problem. Oh, sorry, as a government, they be so you for a bunipa. They are misbehaving. They are worrying people. They are worrying the citizens. They are in time giving problems, especially the situation where we find ourselves. When we say here, a lot of our soldiers need barracks because they need accommodation. It's one of the biggest problems. Armed forces mostly say need accommodations. We've been doing to build, but it's not the pace at which yes, are dying. It's our form, and you need huge resource, capital injection. You need ask us also, so you have to continue to do it. Now, yes, also, and they are renting in the communities. They take the behavior of the community. If somebody or Kaswa, what he sees around is what he picks. So our barracks, what he sees around is what he picks.
All our soldiers are not in barracks.
Barracks.
Yeah, no, outside barracks, the doors.
There be yes, almost doors.
Okay,
but quite a number are not in the barracks.
Oh, really?
Yeah, especially in Accra, quite a number are not in the barracks. It's a big problem. When you want to mobilize, if you person mobilize as your for now, person mobilizing in 10, you may face problems. And I say, we instill a particular discipline, style of discipline, but facing problems. And I say, yes, you will need all your soldiers in the barracks. When them say, affairs no bema come na ewo bush ankasa. We have grown to outgrow them. Since they are in the middle of the primaries of prime lands in Accra. I saw your phone, they are not like before. They are in the most prime area of Accra. Cantonments, Airport. The prime de la prime, what we say, the creme de la creme, Airport Hill, the chain homes. So you put them in a situation won't be provided enough accommodation for them and good accommodation. That's why we prioritize accommodation. Yes, see, so we call Mahamara. You see, as building more accommodation. So we call I saw you for cemetery side now. We say. More are coming up. You started building a lot of accommodation just to cover all the space that is there, so that so your phone benya accommodation. So yes, if
Baba, it's often said, the kind of accommodation we build, we don't have the junior officers in mind. We are still building for senior officers.
They are mostly for junior officers.
Really?
Mostly for junior officers. Meaning, the ideal accommodation for even a private soldier should be 2-bedroom house. Ideal.
Yes.
So why even quarter accommodation at least 2-bedroom house.
Yes.
Say be only even with that, most of them may not even be married. But Adam for somebody comes, a visitor, it's overnight,
guest room,
that kind of stuff. At least 2-bedroom house and then 3-bedroom house. But for senior officers there, you can't give that kind of accommodation to them. Most of those we are building now, were 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom mostly. But for senior officers, the generals need.
You cannot give that kind of.
But
okay, so standards. Senior. How about commissioned officers near
commissioned officers are lieutenant. So lieutenant. That's so you are just a second lieutenant with degree. There are some first lieutenant.
Okay.
That's and then from there you go to captain. Or that's for the army.
Okay.
Then from captain we go to major. From major you go to lieutenant colonel. Then then it's a lieutenant colonel. Then you go to colonel. Then you begin to move like that until you get to say you're general. So, and as you go, the appropriate accommodation is given to you.
Based on rank
wardrobe. And it is not, it's also true because by the time Obedru Journal you are like 40 something years in service. Obia or says Nancy, you cannot even move to you cannot just because there are a number of years you have to serve. Non-commissioned officers the recruits are just those under training. Those under training for non-commissioned officers are called recruits.
Okay. And when they pass out, they are non-commissioned officers.
They are non-commissioned officers. Almost started with private.
Yes.
Then from there to corporal, to lance corporal, to corporal, to sergeant. Now,
then the warrant officer.
Warrant officer. But they say they are added 2 more portfolios, senior warrant officer and that kind of stuff, and their own is the master warrant officer. That is over all of them. The master warrant officer of the entire armed forces, and just Nipa Bako. But that's a political position. To say CDS, he is the most senior, but the CDS is the overall boss of the entire armed forces. Then you have different services. You have Navy, you have Air Force, you have Army. The Army is the largest. And the land people, they are the Army, they are the largest. Follow, anyway, a lot of them followed by Air Force, and then the sea people who are the Navy, and the air people are the Air Force. So that's how the armed forces is structured. Until your commissioned officers, who are what we call the officer corps, what we call military academy. you spend almost a year and some months.
And then there was also minimum degree.
Minimum degree. But for non-commissioned officers, most of them are SHS students. Most of them.
But one challenge people will call you Obi, may call as a non-commissioned officer, may the SHS the real. But due to my hard work as a non-commissioned officer, I'm a school. I had mates at the law school. Why masters if I know I enroll on a PhD, but still a non-commissioned officer.
Yeah.
Why is that?
For armed forces, no. So, as non-commissioned officer, you can commission as an officer. You can commission.
Okay.
You have to go through the system. You apply after a number of years. So, but may apply. So, yes application, and you take it to your
unit
head. I know you will transmit it to your CEO, who is the commanding officer. So the CEO believes you are okay, and they will accept it. He will transmit it like that until it gets to your service head. So that's how their system is.
Years of service and not necessarily furthering your education.
But the first thing, you have to be qualified. I say you are qualified. Degree.
Okay.
That's the first basis. Okay. You have to be qualified.
Okay.
Until so degree to say just ordinary person now. You can apply, but soldiers, the only over 8 years, my who say almost prefer the normal obi a one soldier for some tactical reason. It looks to me so they prefer people who are coming direct
because you are entering fresh with your degree. No, be a commissioned officer.
God.
It's easier than you being within the service as a non-commissioned officer
to get into it,
becoming a commissioned officer.
Police, the opposite.
Okay.
So police are the opposite.
Okay.
Say it's easier to be in the service and get there. But soldier for it's easier to be outside and get there. There are reasons why so soldier for you are an officer to command the non-commissioned officers. You have to command. So, you're captain and you have a number. You can you command a platoon, 30 soldiers. If you are lieutenant, you command a certain number of soldiers around you, which includes WO, which includes a sergeant, which includes office. You have a certain number of soldiers that you have to command. And they train you for that purpose. So bad now, but training you are for that purpose. And in fact, the surprising thing is, you see, discipline in the armed forces is very important.
Yeah.
The surprising thing is that a lot of the training guys at the academy, non-commissioned officers.
Oh, really?
A lot of them are non-commissioned.
The training commissioned officers.
Yes, a lot. Trainees are as recruit. The day you pass out, then they salute you.
Salute too. Oh wow, that's interesting.
So discipline. The day over pass out, now salute you. As you file pass, President commission you, then he salutes you. So that's how it is. So discipline.
I understand you, sir. For the system to run smoothly, I will see any commissioned officers or senior officers commanding a platoon.
Yeah.
And the platoon are mostly non-commissioned
officers.
So
company, platoon,
yes.
This, that.
But the forces that form our platoon are non-commissioned officers mostly.
A lot of them are non-commissioned officers.
And for the system to run, we have to keep that status quo.
You have to. Because, you see, bullets are flying. You are defending, you are fighting. Remember, sir, for their duty is to defend the nation, the territorial integrity of the nation. Make sure they defend you and me. Defend the territory of Ghana. Make sure, sir, there's a country called Ghana. Make sure, sir, Nepal or more Ghana and they are Ghanaians. They put their life to defend those people. What you are saying? So, say, who are armed forces? There's no discipline. Then there's no armed forces. And that structure, they have to keep that structure. Say, the fighting force are mostly the non-commissioned officers. The officers are to command and give direction. They are the thinking guys. They will bring all the plans. Say, position here, you do a kwaha, you do a position her, when way by you say, you attack free her, and then you buy attack it. We are using this type of ammunition. You buy say, we are buying this, we are doing this. Officers, that's their job. That is not, and they work closely with their WOs and all the sergeants and the people that are working with them. So that is how the job is. You are commanding. You are the guy on the ground. They will hold you responsible. It's a baby who now you hold you responsible. You are the commanding officer. You are the guy to do the command. So call a battalion, for example. So call, let's say, our regiments, like Kamina, 6 BM. Is the commanding officer is a lieutenant colonel. The whole or an adjutant, mostly are lieutenants and that kind of stuff. The whole area, the commanding officer is a lieutenant colonel. So we call who, for example, the commanding officer is a lieutenant colonel. We call Kumasia, commanding officer or a lieutenant colonel. We call Takra, the 2 BN, the commanding officer is a lieutenant colonel. We call 4 BN, 4 BN is a lieutenant colonel. We call Kumasi, lieutenant colonel. 5 BN, Accra, or a lieutenant colonel. So that is the job you command. So, lieutenant, for example, lieutenant colonel job into colonel. Most of the time, you get an office job. So a lot of that's why especially within the officer corps, now when you're disciplined, now you won't fit into the job because when you're commanding officer, you have almost 9 groups of people serving you. Batman. Wait, say driver, wait, you are a big guy. Hey, share. As well, you're for our bar, you know, say, yeah, it's bigger than even the minister. Share. Look, because now I was minister, but I didn't have 9 people serving me. Minister, I didn't even have, I had, because I was minister, I could take a house person for the state to pay, gardener, and this. I'm Fabi. I didn't take, but if you go to, let's say, the unita, I say the unita, the battalion, like in 6 BM, and the lieutenant colonel there, he has all of that. Then you promote to colonel.
One office.
All that stuff is gone.
Oh, okay.
So you have to adjust. So so as to start moving, because as to start moving up, then there be as to start from colonel, start moving up to brigadier, to major general. Then you start getting it again.
Oh, okay.
Because you are getting more responsibility.
Okay.
What you say, you are getting more responsibility. So you start getting those perks and those kind of things.
It is when I enter the Ghana Armed Forces as a non-commissioned officer.
You are starting with private.
Yes. The system is not built to be aspirational. I cannot aspire to one day join the commission.
You can aspire to join the commission
but
force.
It's not easy.
There
are systems in place to keep me where I am.
And yes, there are systems in place. You can commission, and yes, you want to mean commissioning, but you are going to have let's say a 30,000 force. Maybe over 30,000 armed forces. The entire force is 30,000. The officers are less than 5,000.
Okay.
The rest are non-commissioned officers. How can everybody aspire to be an officer? Okay. There are no vacancies. Okay. Every year, right now, we don't take more than 200
for officers.
For training. But non-commissioned officers, the minimum you will take will be 3,000 in the same year. How can all the 3,000 aspire to be in the position of the 200 people? Difficult. So it's not just the fact say there are systems, but everybody now role to play. As you build the armed force, we one row. Say one to me and Yenisa and fix them, and that's the job of the officers to do that. The minister is running the ministry together, of course, with the commander-in-chief. You are taking what the commander-in-chief with the armed forces, and especially if you look at the way your constitution, the powers are actually vested more in, apart from the president, the commander-in-chief, in the Armed Forces Council. A lot of the decisions, you are council. Whom as minister, you are day-to-day will running the ministry. You are doing the, but a lot of the powers, are vested in the Armed Forces Council. I sure say. I'm sure that one of the days you best start acting to give the minister more authority. So share the minister is part of the council. He's part of the council. He's part of the council. The council is chaired by the vice president. According to the constitution. But more of the decision making, Who inside the constitution, obviously, minister will do the. It's not like the others. You have been the minister. The delegation of power is from the president.
Okay.
Into the president is actually the person you are working for, because president, on to me internal defense, foreign affairs at the same time, rules. So he gives you that power to do that. But a lot of the work, armed
it's
forces
done by
council.
the Armed Forces Council.
It's done by the council.
Okay. One thing, say in common way about around the Ghana Armed Forces, monsase. Land belonging to the Ghana Armed Forces can be categorized as state lands,
State land.
State lands.
State land.
And they are all almost gone.
All armed forces lands, and in fact, one of the bodies are more assassin or Ghana or
Ghana Armed
Forces. I mean, show the way the state, all state lands are vested in the president.
Sure.
All state lands are vested in the president. By mistake, now, we were having problems in one side because those lands are vested in the president. In those days, armed forces, you occupy a particular land. Armed forces were because you occupy it. Police for say railway judicial CSR agri that is how the armed forces all those lands are done. In the title and Kasano, now this state organization even certificate of allocation no money. It is during my time yes 30 armed forces certificate of allocation. So the lands commission cannot just sell their lands. So Okotamale says certificate of allocation. All the lands the armed forces said this is what we want, they gave them certificate of allocation.
But before that,
the lands commission can just sell. They can just sell. I had running battles with lands commission because of that. Because some lands they'll just dispose of them and then you say they be
without even the knowledge of the armed forces.
You will not even know. Say they be I knew they mean penny. I will not agree because the closest I will go to releasing armed forces land is to do PPP. Where maybe I will call Bemakam. I could see then they will move in first and be satisfied, and Sana you will even have access to whatever you want to do with that land. And NDC time it was done and that kind of stuff. And they bet my but you feel some minute mean ton assassin manipa. I won't do it. And I never did it for 8 years. They be not one minute me friend say Obi me was assassin you are my madam for and never. I won't do that. It's unethical. Me I won't do it. It was unethical for me to get up. Say, that means I saw your for money accommodation. Then I'll be selling armed forces. So I saw your for assassin. For what? Or I'll take it for myself and do what with it.
Wow.
I would never do such a thing.
But that's good. You are saying, sir, in Sasia in the name of the Ghana Armed Forces, you moved a step further. Unya certificate of allocation Ghana Armed Forces.
Not all of them.
But at least you can say under your watch, all Ghana Armed Forces lands remained intact.
All armed forces land, we were not selling armed forces land and torn armed forces lands. One or two be now. For example, we call and that one it was not even from me. We call ban, baby I ban where the ban is. We call her the armed forces because of the redevelopment around that area, including BAD, what we call the BOD, not BAD, BOD. Airport City Phase 2, we had to move and I couldn't move them because now I insisted, said, Munkwasi then will Bemakam and son, I'm a soldier for and son, move. Yes, we've agreed, say we have to move because of the beer or more. But to move them, I cannot move them until you agreed. So you will see, say, they have started building huge accommodation for armed forces.
Oh, okay.
Big, even bigger than they are almost armor police.
Oh, really?
when they finish, and to me and we, I think some of them are 90%, it be 80%, and some are here freehold. So when they finish, and as soldier, they go and occupy before
they have
access to the whatever land they want to use it for. But to say my tongue armed forces lands are manipa, I will never agree. I have battled. Me see, there are some things I can't be talking because they are national security matters. But there are my battle. I face a lot of battles to ensure say those keeping lands
intact.
Yeah, me kai say me friend Papa be police lawyer be or friend me say it was around Unim barracks I wore BOD barracks I wore Elwak behind Elwak. Nti 2 plots. So the matter for pa lawyer or friend me say my client land is there. He say, hey gentleman, you come and see where the land is. And the CO2 has started building on the land for young soldiers. Money accommodation. Say they want to sell. And baby they want to sell. No, there's a road and a road like this, and the entire lane. No, I saw for their wives. No, it's a market.
Market.
So they push stores, and they were selling. So they wanted to demolish those things and tell us, I saw your first assay. Even if yes, we know say a state land, but that's the soldiers were occupying it and they were using for their market. So where would they go and buy stuff? Makwala. And I say Abobloshi. We can't do that. Into your mom, let's allow that. And I told the lawyers, wait here, go back to Lands Commission and look for your money. But say you better stop it there, and you
it will not happen.
Then there was another one around cantonments. And you the Lands Commission, they know they took me to court. They nearly jailed. Air Force Command the fee is near. BNI fee, and then in between, you know, somebody one says
wow, but that's crazy.
But that's what nearly happened. I said every so those things happen, and yeah, it is not now. Long time. Those things started almost 6-7 years ago. I said those things are not good enough. So I'm not saying those things didn't happen, but you have to stamp your feet on the ground and say no. To sell those lands to individuals just for the sake of selling. It's very tempting. Because but you have to
stand your ground.
Yeah, stand and put Ghana first and say
the other thing I'm person finding out, when you became defense minister 8 years ago, now your strength in terms of boots on the ground, saying for the Ghana and for normal Dawson, and then national security information.
It's not possible, say there's no country you can guess.
You are a police,
the armed forces. They're over to my guess.
Okay,
but you can guess. Say now more 18,000, more 20,000. Not mini figure pa. You can guess. 18,000-20,000. But I can say we added more than half of the number that was there.
That you met. Yeah, more than half of them.
So, for example, Enka. Let's say 20,000. We added more than 10,000.
More than 10,000. Yeah. Oh, okay. You think, sir, we still need more people, or what we
the
have?
The ideal number for Ghana to be about 50,000. And
okay, meaning we still have to add up.
We have to. The ideal number, say the way I always say, we have done what we call modernization of the armed forces. There were new structures. Yeah, setting BBR. So if you go to the armed forces today, go to Kintampo, Jasasi, Uko Bimbila, Jasasi, Uko Dambaya, Jasasi, Uko Sheshiwi, Jasasi. There are several places Jasasi said you have to make sure you're dominating the country, and to be able to fill that gap over the next 10 years. And you know, the plan is to make sure over the next 10 years
we hit 50,000.
You hit that figure.
Okay.
And a plan, you have to build on it and fill up and including accommodation. It's very expensive, but you have to take the bull by the horns and do it. And
but that's where the other question comes. With all these expenses, really, Ghana Armed Forces say I hate the maximum 50,000. 50,000 soldiers doing what? Or more
that's the mistake. That's a big mistake. With the numbers we have, say yes, see, the place I saw your 4 aircraft baby, I will not even get those numbers. to be able to do that. They be a sorry, I will see it be a boko ntokwa it be a chip on ntokwa it be a hat ntokwa jura ntokwa when I could solve this problem. It's the armed forces and the police and the other security agencies. So you will need those numbers to stabilize your country. One of the things are Ghana and ne say you better make pride who say this is what Ghana has is peace. That's what we sell.
Sure.
Say you need peace, who will come to Ghana? You need population to say Nigeria. We don't need population to say Nigeria. So all come China and it's population that is driving the economy. Technology, so we are not leveraging on technology to say Japan and that's Korea. We sell the fact that Ghana is peaceful. So dirty December. I'm for the people are coming to Ghana. Nigerian businessmen weekends who are Ghana, they are spending money, they're spending dollars. It's the fact that Ghana Accra is peaceful. Tamale is peaceful. Baby, I peace. Baby, you can walk in the night. It is because the security agencies are doing their work. Say ye armed forces, a free war. Ye armed forces, and with the loose atmosphere, West Africa, where guns can flow into the country, people will overrun you. The armed forces, the deterrence alone, your friend in deterrence, the ability to deter human beings. Say, so Ghana, I saw your for
don't scare people.
You can come. You think it says for nothing? Say a terrorist attack. Togo has been battling with terrorism. Benin has had terrorist attack. Guinea, Mali, except Ghana. It's the deterrent posture. Say Ghana for soldier, they're not going to spare you. It's very important for us as a state. Say, won't mean facts are deterrent posture. Say, Ghana, dear, sure. What if you joke with them? They won't spare you. You can't come out alive. So you can't come out alive. It's very important.
The return on investment into the Ghana armed forces, the peace way.
It's not just a peace. I'm just using the peace as an example. Okay. I'm just using the peace as an example for you to see. Say, all that we are doing, you need to keep a state called Ghana. You need to keep a state called Ghana. So we need a stable armed forces. You may not be able to keep the state called Ghana. Burkina Faso, outside Ouagadougou, and just go to Fada Nkrumah, above Fada Nkrumah, and see whether you can walk on the street. That will tell you the importance of the armed forces. Mali, go to Agadez, beautiful city, historical city. Go to Timbuktu. And can you call Timbuktu? So can history. And can you call Timbuktu? Go there and see whether you come back alive. Timbuktu. Then start roaming around Timbuktu to say, but Marco Tamale. So you can go to Swedru around. So I can tell you, say, go to Tamale and go to Bimbala. You will come back alive. I can guarantee that. But go to Timbuktu and start going to all the villages and see whether you come back alive. So you need a nation called Ghana, and the armed forces will determine it. This is the second one I've given you. But Mayu, I can give you hundreds of reasons. It is important, say, as a country, you keep your armed forces and keep them well equipped. So I'll be sorry, say, hey, Ghana, dear, more gold, more sea. Yes, I see, no. I want to come and take over the country. Maybe, I'm not saying maybe some bodies somewhere things say, Ghana, dear, they don't have an armed forces. I want to come and take over the country and march his troops into Ghana to say what is happening in Ukraine. How will you defend yourself? And can Ukraine thinking say our big brothers are Russia. Why do we need armed forces of Ukraine for what? And somebody march and say no, Ghana because I need the sea. What will you do? You are now going to form your armed forces. Say no, training, bullets, or armor vehicle, and that's a plane or jet fighter. What you say? Or you are now going to train an armed forces. And when I catch you say people don't have that in their heads.
Yeah, but some have questioned the kind of existential threat we face.
Externally, when I catch out say it doesn't happen. When I catch out say if you didn't have an armed forces, people will not think like that. When I catch out say all the fight about your oil, both in Togo and Ivory Coast and all your land issue. When I catch out say and you would need a strong armed forces, people will not come and take over portions of your thing. When I catch out say people cannot do that oil you are having today. When I catch a say and you need armed forces, a strong armed forces, somebody will not get up and say, Papa, when I catch a say they cannot do that.
Yeah.
But and see it because you were strong armed forces. So we don't see it. Debi Amika say, I don't pity the defense minister. Say, hey, cool, if it's good, it's calm. Nobody even sees his work. Oh, what are the armed forces doing? The defense or but and Ochina, if there's a problem, now defense or defense that's what will happen. They will start blaming you. I don't pity the defense minister because so 1 3 year now BBC war, especially against your government, you will not be remembered for a good reason. Who call me off my former officer? There are names of ministers.
Yeah, ministers.
So me drew minister, minimum I won't mention. Now war 66. The first person, it was this man who was there when the coup happened. Me call the next one 72. Let me do and the Busia. It was under this man that the coup happened. Me kai say, Madam for now a MP around Brekum area. He says, well, na uncle be. When he wakes up, the first person he blames is say, Papa we you mentioned the name. Papa we now say Anka Busia ha. Anka Hafo area no and say Anka Hafo area and no Bono area and say Anka Busia. He's blaming that minister. But Anka Bibia correct Bibia and see everything was okay. Uncle minister cry. Uncle minister. He will even believe this. The first time I call minister be office, we say, armed forces, why do we need the armed forces? Cabinet minister. And why do we need the armed forces? The same questions that you ask, young former UN, we don't need armed forces. I looked at him and I said, Papa, we won't name the
But do you think, and we have a last question on the armed forces, do you think, because I've heard people say, Ghana, Osha how Anyoma call the media pluralism and the fact that so many radio stations, it's virtually impossible for a coup d'etat to happen. Now one say, but that's the reality.
In 2019, I watched it. I watched people planning. As we set up people, they followed the people for 1 year. Now we record for 1 full year. Planning. And what was the plan? Very simple. You're making sure that Ghana becomes ungovernable. Until you talk grenades. You talk grenades. Now you yes. Then we'll start bombing few places. You better drop it high. But even these are national security things. I don't think I will talk. I'll tell you off air. But it's very possible. Your media. It takes only 1 day to say, no. What can you do?
Yeah, but if you do that announcement on a Sempa,
you are not getting me.
There are other.
You are not getting me. So who feels like Burkina now? Money media, so many radio stations. And I said Guinea. Now money so many radio stations. And I said Mali. Who feels like now money so many radio stations? When I catch us, they had so many radio stations. Why don't the radio stations save them? There are so many things that can happen. What I feel is say you should have a loyal, dedicated armed forces that will stand and fight for the country, regardless of whoever comes.
Do we have that now?
I'm always.
Wait, but what challenges?
Yes.
But
I'm almost certain. Say you will be.
with all challenges accommodation.
Me say, child accommodation there. It's a normal problem that Ghana they know said Ghana cannot provide everything at once, and that with even the difficult economic challenge you're facing as a country since 2020 that we face as a country around the world. So they hear, they watch news around the world. They see what is happening in other areas. America is complaining. We call UK, complain. Things are hard. We call BBI, everybody is complaining. But still, the government will provide accommodation for them.
Because the last time I called on 37 Maxmart Echiho.
Yeah.
Unse barracks be ewo.
In when I see ban land.
I honey ban land.
Where the ban, the emphasis ban was now more.
Oh, okay.
And that was where.
I mean, when I got there, I'm share accommodation. Soldier.
Inti, your move.
I was like, hey, how can I be patriotic?
In 6 months, Oko Bema camp. Almost see what you will move to that side.
Oh, really?
Yes.
In the ban land for
yeah. In 6 months. That's why I said they are almost 80%. You're free on almost 80% complete.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There were about 250 to 300 soldiers, families.
Yes.
And everybody now, you see what Abema come for them. The whole barracks for them.
Oh, okay.
Bang.
Okay. Inti where a maximum oko DVLA a honesa area holding
na a band.
Na a band na say.
Ban assassin. I saw your for ban assassin.
Oh, okay.
Police war. Almost your band, your armed forces ban no more. It's almost complete. I'm sure say in the next 3 or 4 months.
You relocate to more when
that
would be good news.
And the accommodation our moment first class.
For front no mobile.
So call so who call the new not the new who call Airport Hill that's over additional.
Yes.
Sure. You will see some accommodation, huge story buildings.
Oh,
top.
okay.
Their buildings are huge inside.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be fantastic.
It's our own Bema Canberra, Arakan Barras. After Arakan Barras, as if you are coming to Chain Home area.
Chain Homes area.
They are building whole barracks for them in that area.
Oh, that's nice.
Last year, I started. With almost 80% complete, and some me free. So I'm sure saying 2, 3, 4 months time now more complete. Then we'll move them. Until that me see, move until
they finish.
They finish the accommodation.
What would be the advice when you're on can be certain things you think he should follow up on?
Already
in private conversation.
You say I know. There are certain ministries that you have to work together.
Okay.
Defense is one of them. They say one is minister. It doesn't matter where you like them. You have to work together. And my catcher say, look at Air Force access. Look at accommodation.
Air Force.
So I will oppose them. So when far Air Force access, some you say beefing up our Air Force access. Me little
assets meaning say. More aircraft.
Air Force is a fighting force.
Yes.
You have to have the ability to fight in the air. You have to have the ability to defend the nation in the air. So it'll be fun in helicopter. How are you going to defend yourselves? It'll be fun in jet fighter. So say Mali, jet fighters be brave, Burkina be brave, Togo, and they almost say you are coming to fight Ghana. How are you going to defend yourself? With 2 missile how will you defend yourself? What you say? Yes. How you defend yourselves? So Air Force is critical.
I will say it's
very important.
Navy is fairly okay.
It's not okay. It's okay. I say the 2 ships. No, yes. Started that procurement 2019. And to say friends, it's not like maybe a car or showroom. You just go and buy. It will take a long time. It took us almost 3 years
to get
to where we were. And Sana last year, we completed our process, but the IMF we couldn't do because we needed now you pay consent of the IMF.
Yes.
Because IMF is very clear, say you want borrow.
Okay.
So we needed a consent of the IMF. It was only in June that consent. That's why we were able to bring it to Parliament. But of course, the new government thought otherwise. They should follow it up. Said the IMF gave us that concession for this year, last year.
Okay.
last financial year. Say if you can convince IMF again to give you another concession in 2025, I know they have any problem. But I pray say omo side chance
na omon fambra
because we need it. There are some things mean to me because they are national security issues. So okay, and there are people they are dead and they are criminals they are terrorists they are hijackers they are nipa brave and some by the Ansana year resuming government 2017, the Gulf of Guinea was the worst sea you could go to.
Really?
Yeah. Beside anybody. It had the highest percentage of hijacking. It was the highest percentage of piracy. It was very, very bad. We had to work to bring it down. And then it's much, much better. First, no, it was Horn of Africa. Djibouti war.
Yeah.
They came to the Gulf of Guinea. Hijacking, hijacking. But it's not everything. That's what I said. You frighten. You see, say they be hijacking ship where you say you frighten the nation.
Yeah.
So there are some things that you work behind the scenes to resolve all those. But it was a worst sea you could find between 2016 and 2020. You're resolving maybe not 2016, let's say 2013.
Okay.
From 2013 to 2020, it was one of the worst seas that you could move.
Wow.
Meanwhile, 80% of your goods no free.
A person ever. Yeah.
80% and more. And your aircraft so if your sea is not good, you will lose a lot your economy.
It's true.
Will go down completely. When a bet my yes a navy. Until you need navy,
you have a problem.
You have a big problem. 80% of your goods won't come. Because it's very simple. Hijackers won't go out sea or 100 nautical miles into the sea. To me, I bet you are is it the boat you are going to use? And I say, Pantu. And I say, stop home.
Oh, okay.
What are you going to use to stop them?
Yeah. I get you. I mean, many Honorable Dominic Nitiwul Nadine, former Minister of Defense, MP for Bimbila constituency, or again try your WhatsApp number no very active 0548 443 523. More questions, Emmanuel 0548 443 523. Honorable Sana, me babe kind messages kakana. I think I was here you were free hotel. You were on your feet in Parliament, and I will make a presentation on the floor about this conversation around state lands.
Yeah.
And then I'm swamana allegedly bimu edumo microphones. Ne ade no mo pese de work na ebeba air. What was the issue in this conversation? Some have said, listening to you in Parliament on Metre MPs on both sides, no?
Yeah.
Say, okay, grabbing of state lands, no? We are not alone in this. If you are blaming us, blame the other side too. That was the kind of conversation.
You see, the idea said, disposes state lands, particularly Bibia, your war assas, building.
Yes.
It started under Jerry Rawlings. Nagana, yes, we were not doing it. And the Jerry Rawlings, around 96, 98, now started here. And they were calling it infilling. Say, colonial masters, no, we see building now on 1 acre. So, we are young farmer developer. Now, on Sibes, 10 houses on that same land.
Yes.
Cantonments. The entire cantonments, 90% was state land.
Oh,
yes.
Okay. And that was the point you
cantonments,
were making.
Cantonments, Hausa Reserve. From cantonments, over 37, Ekosiisen Jubilee House, candidating in your friend Hausa Reserve. It was because of Second World War. When him said the Hausa people, they were the bulk of the fighting force. The West African frontier. That's the West African soldiers. Now my friend West African frontier, no. Baby airport one. It was an aerodrome. Aerodrome is a small airport.
A small airport.
Until now they created that aerodrome so that they could fly people to Burma to go and fight. So they named that all the acquisition, and a lot of them were called Hausa Reserve.
Hausa Reserve.
Because of the fighting. So Hausa Reserve, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So they are all state lands. And then they started, and the Rollins, they started. So West Airport, we release a lot of those lands. East Airports, they release a lot. East Legon. Bebre, as I say,
East Legon?
Bebre was state lands. West lands, Bebre, now it was state lands. They released all this land. Kufo government came and continued. Nobody criminalized it. But Ukai said, when Kufo was leaving, NTC 4 years, they say, oh, state land. But I can tell you, and I've said it before, say your core from the time Ghana gained independence from 62, who has released more state land, who has acquired, NTC 4. It's not even a champion. It's not Busia. It's not Nkrumah, and Akufado, and Kufo. It is the NDC, the party your friend in NDC. They have grabbed more state lands. That's the point I was making. That's one. Two, now me see Jerry Rawlings is starting here. So all these subsequent governments came and did that thing, including the Akufado government. Same that in feeling. So as I see what
believe in say a good policy.
A good policy.
But do you think it was
remember? Then you come and criticize and say, we are assassin. And I said, fine, if you think you are selling, young man. And I say, even MPs who are sitting in that room, a lot of them have lands at Botema.
Botema, so a state land?
It was state land. That's where Kufo built affordable housing.
Okay.
So the land that was left, it was shared during Mahama's time. 2015, 2016.
To politically exposed people.
I am saying to the MPs, it started, parliament. Started from parliament. The sharing started from parliament. MPs.
MPs on both sides.
Me see MPs on both sides, particularly those who are in government, NDC MPs. MPs, some of them are still in parliament. Big people. Yeah, I will go and show you. I don't know the Botima. I'll go and show you the area. And show you the way this one. Me, I was offered some, but I didn't take. Because not Satan, no Kaiser me a deputy leader. I was offered 2+, but I didn't take it. I was a deputy leader. So they gave. I can show you. Say way. That's why Rashid Purple says and now man. And Mutaka said they gave him and he has built his own. Is it 1 acre or something? Okay.
Yes.
And me see. So who called Tamale? Maybe I friend residents behind it. Ningina state land, because it was all acquired for the residents. You go and find the people who are there. They are all in Tamale. When you're a politically exposed person, and I even told them the house the president sometimes sleeps in Tamale. It's all on state land. So you just are nyachum, and Vince said there's somebody there stealing. I started recounting. You see, and myself say, who builds an electricity pylon? When I see as you were under this pylon, you will say, "Oh, see one and the electricity pylon." Would they chase you away? How come that from East Legon, maybe from the police station, if you drive along what we call the boundary road, it's all under electricity pylon. Question there, what happened? It was given during Mahama's first time. Who are the people who are handling it? Who is for it? Me see. Baby, are you afraid? Aviation. Guys, if you are coming, aviation. Go and see the people who sold that land. It was NDC people who sold that land. The entire aviation lands. You buy it and Amewu say when he wanted to collect the land, could he collect it back? As Amewu, he was the first minister of lands under Akufado. Bisan say, oh yeah, say obeji sasa. Bisan say, oh to could he collect that land back? Aviation, Medina, Adenta.
Yeah, I remember.
Let's find out who are the people who have lands under that aviation.
So essentially, the political elites.
And the political elites. The list are me one. The list are me one. I have a whole list from 2010 to 2016. Me one list. This is me under my bosom. 90% are not politically exposed. About 70% are companies. I have to go and find out why Naza company. But the names are not politicians. 90% are not politicians.
Even after
under Mills and the Mahama first time. Yes. 90% are not politicians. The politicians' names also are less than 10. The over 500 to almost 1,000 names I may want. They are less than 10. They are mostly companies and then individuals.
And individuals who are not politicians.
No. They are not politicians. About 90% are not politicians.
And
So you cannot say it's a politically exposed or more rubbish. You're not correct.
But the point is that from the examples you gave, from Adenta Aviation to Boteman, these are all to political exposure.
No, not all of them are to political exposure. I know big pastors who have lands in those places.
On those places?
Yes! I have no big pastors. I cannot be, because I won't be fair to them. They are not here. I will confront them before. I will mention their names. But I know big pastors who have it. But I'm telling you, say, it's not only politically exposed people. I'm just telling you, say, it was released under President Mahama's first term to individuals. Even Passan Gardens, the one opposite DVLA.
Yes.
Besides, when I turned before, it was first sold under Mahama. I don't know whether our people were trying to collect it back. Alima is now in the country. We are number friend. She tried to do everything to collect it back. Parks and Gardens. We are bisa. I'm just giving you the examples to say. They are making it look as if say NPP came, they never sold anything. NPP came and they've sold all the lands, and I'm saying it's not correct. That infeeling started under Jerry Rawlings, and every government has done it, including the current president when he was in his first term. Mills, it happened, and the Kofo, it happened. They give to companies, they give to individuals.
And I asked
the political class are few. It's very few. The names that I know, the political class people is very few. Majority are your politicians. They're just Ghanaians. Some are not
of them enabled by the politicians.
I don't know. I knew them in name because, like I said, majority is companies. Unless I call a research general to go and check who are the names behind. And so I can confirm it. But to sit here and confirm, say enabled by politician. Of course, the decision maker is a politician.
Yes.
The ultimate decision maker is a politician.
And that is where the problem is, because if we agree, and the Muslim people say, infill in policy, from where you said, is it a good policy?
I thought originally not a good policy, but it's been abused. The original concept, was a good policy, but him said it's been abused.
It's been abused. Yeah. And you support Obi Obabe's stop it.
I feel so. Where maybe we have to reset the whole thing. Mm-hmm. I feel so. We should stop and read and ask ourselves questions. Say what we are doing, is it the right?
Is it the right thing we are doing?
We need because some of the areas that we had no business selling, and we are releasing those lands.
Like
CSIR lands, Center for Scientific and Industrial Research lands. Those areas are very prime lands. Some of the lands are some of the crops, and you can't even get them. We destroyed all of them. Military facilities. Areas where a soldier for. Look, Bondasi, it was almost gone. Oh, say Asagame, under Bondasi land, a military land.
Okay.
Almost 5,000 acres of military land. They finally got 2.5 acres. 200. 2,500 acres, and I think they couldn't build even up to 1,000 acres. But I'm just giving you, say, in most countries, military facilities are off limit. Yes, I saw your phone. You be on mobile training. Police lands should be off limit. Railway should be off limit. Some critical state infrastructure and a buyer off limits.
But in our case, in the
we need to rethink. Maybe I corner whether it's good
and stop it.
Yeah.
Do you think, sir, there was a reclaiming a be free or more at on?
If it is possible, And you one group of people. If you are doing it across
board.
I'll support you. But say you political vendetta,
targeted,
like what Ora is doing, political vendetta. You know that political vendetta. I think say it's wrong. They are not helping the nation.
Yeah, but Ora and so at least some of the black show evidence, prima facie at least for now, to the effect say the prices at which some of these lands were sold, hey, unconscious.
Unfortunately, Sanaeti, they are not selling the land to you. You pay ground rent. So they are not, and your commercial rate, Oko lands commercial quotas, I say, he should know. So Oko lands commercial quotas, I say, they don't sell it to you on commercial basis. So, cantonment's lands, no, it will be an acre for now around $3 million. But Lands Commission won't sell it to you $3 million. Debbie,
even when you are a private entity,
they won't sell it to
a
you.
Company.
Debbie, they won't sell it to you at $3 million. Lands Commission will never sell it to you at that rate. They don't sell it at commercial rate. That is the problem.
And then amount for Kotono at ground rent.
That is the problem. That's the problem. Say, I feel so yes, sir. Then you didn't need it. You are using it for commercialization.
Semper FM.
It means a woman pesa. You didn't need it yourself. I could talk every Lands Commission, maybe a $200,000 for an acre, maybe $50,000 for an acre. The equivalent in Ghana City. The next day, Omati said, "My ton sasa say ma company $3 million." And it is. I don't think it's right.
And for those ones, if we are able to identify them,
I think it's wrong. We should collect them.
We should collect them back.
I think immediately. I think it's wrong.
But some of those and so are down with the connivance of the Lands Commission.
I can't tell. I had problems with the way Lands Commission themselves were going about their things. Because of the president will always tell me you are having running battles with Lands Commission because of your lands. Maybe he will tell me you are always having running battles. And several times he had to help me put a full stop to some of these things that maybe we had. And unless it comes at me, I won't know. I won't know say maybe as I say it's gone or it's not gone. I won't know. And you don't need the permission of even the Minister of Lands to sell. The way Lands Commission operates, you won't know. And you see something, you make an offer to Lands Commission. If they feel say available, they'll give it to you. You don't even need the permission of that minister to be able to do it. All I'm saying is say the Lands Commission doesn't sell land on commercial basis. Okay. That's not it.
Okay.
So, but I feel say if for some reason there should have been a genuine reason why Upesasas.
And yes, I will be
that's what I think. Say we haven't gotten it right. Say then I want to buy for what? What are you going to buy for? And there must be special planning. A mixed use. A company. For residential. It's this, that. But we're just doing anything that we want. But I think as a country, we must have a conversation on the entire thing. It's the way we are doing political vendetta. Government way bad now, or he will do political vendetta. Another government will come and do it, and we should have to sit as a state. Uko, your friend is Opebia Junction.
Opebia, sure.
To 37. So I saw your forward as I said behind just before the hotel. I had to literally fight to get that land back for the Asoju 4 from an NPP person, and he didn't buy it today. He bought that land long time, but I managed to get that land back. We went to court and we won the case.
Wow.
Yeah, winning our case
against your party.
Yeah.
Then he would hate you for life.
I was doing the right thing. I'll tell you the person later on. And you know, I didn't even buy it under Mahama or Mills long time. But I felt sad. It was wrong. What was happening was wrong. We fought and collected it back.
Meaning, say, Dominic Nitiwul, because of your morals, your passion.
And moral. I don't want to take the moral high ground.
Like you did not buy something.
No.
There is no.
I collected the land
There is
back.
no state land in your name.
Not a company under me. Neither did I hide, and I will be
not a family member.
Me family members for what? They don't. It wouldn't be me free. Me free chamba. Some village under Bimbula. They are not going to come and buy land in Accra. Yes, a few of them will look for land in Accra, but none of them came to me to look for any land or something. Nobody, not my wife. Nobody went and bought any state land. Not me. I'm just saying, me Jesus.
Edema,
almost eight. Is it 8 acres or something? Me Jesus. We went to court and we won the case. Yeah, we need our case. So there are several things I can talk, but this is not the time for the veterans. For the veterans, who could be veterans who was almost 70 acres around Kumasi on the way to Kumasi. They are there. We had similar problems with people. I supported them to take their land back. There are several. Captain Dua, he was a veteran friend. It is not. I could have said, "Oh my G," so I'll make some deals. I can't do those kind of things.
I'll come back, and one thing that also happened under you, which is a worry for our country, the fight against illegal mining and the role of the Ghana Armed Forces, and what you think we can do going forward to stop this. But let me say a big good morning, because it's now morning in the US of A, to our friends Ekosiisen Safua Kentimpo, formerly of Adom FM, currently based in the US of A, Willie Ashley Seal, formerly of Peace FM, also currently based in the US of A, and Nana Ansong Kwauman Hine Ewo Virginia, and Yenuya Kuku Spencer Omunyina 8 currently as we speak, all the way in the US of A. Good afternoon to you guys, and thanks for doing the listening. We say, Obi, today is the 7th marriage anniversary of Mr. and Mrs. Osei Owusu. May God continue to shower his blessings upon your family and keep you stronger together in good health and wealth. Happy marriage anniversary to Mr. and Mrs. Osei Owusu. Do have a fantastic time going forward. Obi, so former defense minister is telling us that majority of the people owning these state lands are non-politicians. My question to him is that who made it possible for these pastors and non-politicians to buy this state land? Is it not police? Is it not political leaders we have put in power? The thing is that they, the political class, have failed us all, taking advantage of the very thing we have asked them to protect on our behalf and sold it to themselves without their conscience pricking them. It's so shameful. Charles Quatin or Adentan Odie Enono. Obi, good evening. I never knew Honorable Dominic Nitiwul would have ever come come to the studio. No, but he was in our studio when he was defense minister. Gamel, he was in our studio when he was defense. I remember I said one time so me call in the office, a recorded interview ever be playing.
On him say, so you're defense minister.
You cannot talk.
You cannot be talking too much. Is that okay? Say, me so is Kaba. Okay, say they be an Kaba. I was always be on Kai. It's a long time. More better 10 to 15 years. I was a regular panelist, so now I could talk a lot, but me call defense no. I had to literally. There's a tradition. Sure. That tradition is you're defense minister. It's not every time that you commenting on and people attacking you. You create problems for the armed forces. And you say me journey or something like that. And I think the gentleman who made the point said the political class should take their time. They are enablers. Our point. I think we should really look at what is going on.
Yeah, very well. Where's Obi? Ask him why they were quiet about all these important development, and why is he saying these now? My worry is the NDC will take all the glory because of propaganda. Gastiman will break. I mean, Gastiman wants to know, for the several good things you did at the ministry, it seems you did not blow the trumpet enough. He feels for the ones NDC can come and take advantage.
Oh, chief, what government? I took a media were talk. You called talk as with media. So what government? I could do be a born one nipa. Oh, kasa nipa.
Okay, be a crowd.
Oh, so I took the media. Yeah, you can.
Yes.
But maybe sometimes but it's normal. It's always like that. We'll continue to say what we have to say.
Yes. Where's Sir Obi? Let me see. I also worked with Ekosiisen Asafo Akantimpo at Adom between 2005 and 2007. Timosmo sharing with New York Bronx. Clement Osayabuaje and the rest of the guys out there. Good evening to you and thank you. Where's Hi Obi? I'm also a regular listener now, doing the listening into Jimmy Quatten, Jimmy Owusu Quatten in Virginia. Thank you so much as well for tuning in to listen to us. Where's Obi? Ask him if they have given military land to Dr. Baumia located at Michelle Camp, because people are propagating this needless falsehood. I'm taking Rashid or Temagol City.
Michelle lands, no, the only land I had now was these people under Ministry of Works and Housing.
Okay.
They built some affordable housing around that area.
Yes.
Into military, not military war. As I said, there was something we call buffer. Buffer, no military as I say,
okay,
and civilians were within the buffer. They asked for a certain number of acres to build phase 1 and phase 2, and then they were supposed to help us to build a wall around the military land as part of the compensation. I mean, I didn't even buy the house. I didn't even get to buy some. Dr. Bamia doesn't have that land. As I said, Bakukra won't be.
Wait, so Obi, my name is Mutala. Please, I want to know about the status of the recruit who are done with veteran last year, February. Thank you.
Unfortunately, the entire 2024, you need to have clearance. So we need clearance and they will be able to go for training. So if they get clearance this year and the government is minded on Boko training.
But they were vetted, maybe.
So we started the process. Now it's very painful to feel said Nipa Omuya application, they say 20,000 and you are taking just 3,000 or Nipa Omuya application, and sometimes they're more than 50,000, but the qualified ones will be maybe 5,000. And so you start preparing them, and they will do the vetting, do medicals, and once you get it, then they go for training. You get clearance from the Ministry of Finance. At that time, we didn't get a clearance, and so the officers were taken by the recruits. So the new ministry is a clearance, and then they go through the system. I mean, I don't know who they are. I don't know. They are just ordinary Ghanaians.
Opportunity. Obi, good day. Ask him what's his take on the raid that took place in Sapeman, Samtuga from New York. Raid be Akos Sapeman. Are we aware of?
Which one?
Last
government, those kind of things will keep coming. I said there was a raid there similar like what National Security just did. And those things keep coming. They be a way war. Sometimes you chase the ghost, you chase the wind. And sometimes if you're lucky, so those kind of things happen. That over the weekend. That is how it is. But it's a developing story. I don't want to jump the gun, but I have an idea. Say those things come up, you'll be there. Someone will come and say you was be brave. $500 million container. So that kind of stuff.
Currency,
those kind of things. Those things happen. Those kind of things happen. Then you go and test the gold that you feel say it's not gold. It's just rock they use to cheat people and that kind of stuff. But we'll wait and see.
What's the role of British Commonwealth? What is the role British Commonwealth is playing in beefing up our security? And also, how could the Air Force assist with air support in fighting armed robbery in Ghana?
So Air Force were facilities to assist the police. Just the ability to fly, especially with helicopters, armed helicopters, and the troop carrying helis. So they can assist. That's why I say. So if the government takes the decision to beef up the Air Force, best support. Secondly, to the British Commonwealth, they don't have any locals to in our armed forces. A country to country agreements, but not Commonwealth as Commonwealth. So a UK or United Kingdom, a Germany, United States or France or China or Russia. These are country to country agreements, but as Commonwealth. The only body we work with them closely, the United Nations and ECOWAS. And the EU.
And the EU.
Yes.
But AU or EU?
No, AU. Even EU. Right now we started working with EU. Yeah, EU. They are supporting us a lot with resources. Your agreement they don't bring anybody for training, but more resources. They give us resources so that we'll buy
Egypt our number one partner in terms of military and defense the US. In the US, more a lot of ammunitions near there, which is public knowledge. In Ghana, partners here.
The US is one. China is one. EU is one. The United Kingdom is one. The EU is France. They are all part of it. They are all part of it. Ammunition. Nobody gives you ammunition. Chief, you have to take care of. So, country, it is your duty to use your taxpayers' money to take care of your armed forces.
But we hear what US does for Egypt, for example.
A grant, maybe sometimes because of Suez Canal and then geographical location of Israel and you and this, they sometimes
it's in their interest
to do that. That's different kettle of fish. You need gravitas, strength to be able to attract that. That kind of interest from the
but so we are also, as you said, because we sell peace, we are also strategically positioned in the sub-region.
So we have to make that point. Internet DBI make it a point to partners around the world.
But that's why the conversation around having a military base in Ghana.
And military base, I don't even think that we should agree for anybody to have a military base. It will create problems for. I don't even think it's a military base. Your friend military base. I don't think that any country even wants us to have a military base.
What that conversation was about then?
No. It was a DCA, Defense Cooperation Agreement. So our Defense Cooperation Agreement that the US said, look, you're signing agreement with Ghana to use a facility to save our to store things. It's a warehouse that they wanted to be storing things, and they wanted to be part of the overall agreement. Said, Libya, you come to train your troops with your troops, which happens regularly. So what is the status of the troops that come? Ghana, what is their status? Stuttgart, most of them came from Stuttgart. From Stuttgart, they go and they are there as soldiers. That's where they station. So when they are coming, will you have to line all of them up and give them visas and answer more visas? Will they use the car to travel as soldiers? We bring them in one military aircraft and take them away. That kind of stuff. These are the conversations and that kind of thing.
And it was not as if they were coming to set up a base.
No. How can you? America doesn't want to set up a base here. We are not attractive. They are not. The America. They have not said in West Africa they will set up any base. Apart from Niger, almost set it up. Your friend drone base. The only base they had was in Niger. We set it up a drone base. And there was a reason we set it up because Niger was part of the hotbed of terrorism. Now we per intelligence. So they wanted
in that area
to be able. So they set a very.
Are you saying, sir, as we speak, there are no US soldiers stationed in Ghana?
There are US soldiers who are stationed temporarily to do other things. They come do some work. Omoni Navy, for example, they are there doing some bit of work for us. Sometimes they go to Bondasi. They are just like any other country. But how can you station permanent? For example, if they are bringing their staff, their soldiers will come and receive their staff in that warehouse, and then they go. When they are gone, they are gone.
That Defense Cooperation Agreement is still in existence.
It's still running. Yeah, it's running.
They have their warehouse here.
It's there. Not that it's ours.
Okay,
they
yeah,
just use it.
And they are using
it is our warehouse. And
their
things.
Their things.
And then send it around. And that agreement was signed in 2015. Hannah Tete is the one who signed it on behalf of Ghana. But then we added all these agreements. There were about 5 different agreements.
Okay.
1998, 2002 under Kufuor, 2015, and then I also signed one. We put all this together into one document, and I signed it.
Okay. Yeah. Ma memrana fe yenhwe we say Obi. Please, during the vetting of our current defense minister, Dr. Omaneboama, the minority leader asked him about some monies that are to be paid to defense civilian staff under the Ghana Armed Forces. And he told the vetting committee he cannot speak to the question because he's yet to take over. Please, Obi, with all due respect, kindly ask Honorable Dominic Nitiwul to throw light on that issue. My regards to you and all the Asempa FM.
What was the question? I cannot be answer the question.
The question was, there were some monies to be paid to the defense civilian staff.
I don't know the question that is there, but I've always said, you're rationalizing the salary of soldiers. No.
Yes.
We needed to rationalize the soldiers, the salary of defense civilian staff.
Okay.
And that process was on.
Okay.
We also needed to rationalize the salaries of the retired soldiers. They call the lieutenant colonels and below. That process was on. Indeed, it is for this government to conclude that process.
Okay.
But you see, if government owes you salary last year, maybe some facility and salary last year, and yes, maybe you were doing some work and it didn't conclude, you cannot get it back unless there's an agreement and then you sign. So I'm not aware, there was some money that was supposed to be paid to them from government and the government didn't pay, unless I get the correct information, but I'm not aware about it.
Would do this break quickly and come back here. Back elections 2024 matters. He is an MP on the ticket of the NPP. Omulusu elections in a historic fashion. And Afein Sono Ebiaka, the role of the armed forces in the elections, election day security, and plus the role of the armed forces in the fight against illegal mining. Ninyina ye nkomo a yebehwe na yetumi edi. After this short break, stay with us here. Basisia.
Obinie, Ekosiisen nie, Bosua wo minisempa, de brane mamba. Obi,
Masomo Asempa 94.7 FM. Ekosiisen dwumedie no wasuguso a wotie no. Ma yena mo ase adofonom ne mamu nyina akwa babio. In some 8 minutes it will be 6 p.m. And the Honorable Dominic Nitiwul and AD Nkomo Oye, former Defense Minister of the Republic for the past 8 years and still MP for the people of Bimbilla constituency. Let me say a big good evening to my friend Ato Kwamena Ono Ewo Massachusetts. He's the NDC communications officer for Worcester, Massachusetts. No say they are all listening to us live in Worcester. And the Ato Kwamena and the rest of the guys out there. Kwame Kese ne mu amoka hu nyina no nyame Inshramo, Yadamunya Nase, Etche Worcester fu nyinara. Ma Yemra studio na yentwaso eni enkomo. We would form the basis of my next set of questions. We say, Obi, 2 questions for Honorable. Please ask him whether he would admit that Kandapa, Henry Korte, and the National Security Coordinator and himself failed the state and the NPP government during the 2024 elections. They were heading various security agencies and they couldn't gather intelligence on NDC's facts. And their strategic surprise they pulled up on the night of vote counting. Couldn't they foresee the police was going to fail them? His comment on this, please. And number 2, upon all these infrastructural projects he speaks about for soldiers, the soldiers still voted against the NPP. Was it a mark of ungratefulness on the part of soldiers? Kojo Inamasaman. Honorable questions, me, you know.
But when I show Mr. Soldier for voting against
it's out there that the special voting.
That propaganda. Oh, how you know, say, Soldier? For special voting, it's 1 center for every polling station. 1 center. So called Dadeko Tupon, maybe a Bema Kamo, 1 center. 1 center. The letter commission staff are sometimes 10 times the number of soldiers and police are was a special voting. Oko Bimbilia, the special voting people, then now we 1,000 something. Electoral commission staff alone were more than 900. The soldiers and the police now more drew 60 people. So how can you conclude that because of special vote? Special voting is dominated by electoral commission staff. The duties for electoral commission until you can use special vote.
And soldiers ne kakra, meaning the majority of the soldiers vote on election day.
Majority of the soldiers, no, not majority. It depends on election. Until army, for example, they deploy 10,000 soldiers across the country. So that 10,000 wouldn't have voted. Bemakam, there are more civilians than soldiers in Bemakam, as we say today. So if you take Bemakam as an example, you are making a mistake. And majority of the soldiers your friends are special voting. And each polling station the special vote. The police and the soldiers, their numbers are very small as compared to the electoral commission staff. When I say electoral commission, that's the temporary staff.
Yeah.
The 5 or 6 people for every polling station. So if you have 100 polling stations, they alone are more than 100. How many soldiers will be there?
It would be difficult to know for each special voting polling station the number of soldiers who voted.
The soldiers, they will not even be up to 30.
So you will not know where they voted.
Maybe you won't do 30, and you are going to have electoral commission. If you have, let's take for example, 100 polling stations, maybe Kojokrum constituency or 100 polling stations.
Yes.
Electoral commission staff alone are over 600. Police police and your friends, police, immigration, the others, it's one person for every polling station.
Okay.
So you are talking about maybe about 120 people. I saw you for maybe about 20 or less. In that, so if you look at the security services, they are like maybe 10% of the overall voting strength of the special vote. Until you can use that as a guide. That kind of propaganda, NDC propaganda. I don't think we should waste our time on that.
The next one is election day security.
Election day security. So, the Kosovo 2024 from the election Ankasa. And let's be fair with the security people. For election Ankasa, that pre-election, they did their work perfectly. I don't remember major incidents until the voting ended, 5 o'clock. And even at the voting centers,
polling stations was done peacefully.
I don't remember major. There were isolated incidents, but me who say a major incident. It was at the collation center. When NDC realized that we knew elections now, we ourselves had to realize that election, let me say, lose. Because by 1 o'clock we knew, say election looks like we have and the NDC asked their people to move to the coalition centers and go and destroy the thing. I don't know why they were doing that, or go and guide the place or take over or whatever they were doing. But that's what caused that problem.
And where were our security officers?
When you lose election, your people, that's NPP supporters, they will be demoralized. It was very clear to the NPP supporters, said the information
presidential.
You are lost presidential. So the ability to even fight for yourself, the morale was very low.
Yeah, but NPP people did not have to come and fight. Security services. Okay.
When you are threatened by the politician,
yes,
we are policeman. You're kind of correct. We are policeman. The soldiers were not there. They will be called back. I only say a soldier for there. They normally were not stationed there. They were told that stay, and then when we need, we'll call you back. It is the police who were there, and you are a security man, and you are being threatened by people who may have just won election. Say, if we will show you, are you sure? Said that policeman will be brave enough that night to stand a force of about 500, 600 people marching to the place. Maybe you just have some 10, 20 police.
Then the soldiers should have moved in.
You still don't get the point I'm making.
No, I understand. Say police were threatened.
So in areas where the soldiers were invited, they moved in. Mekaisa Pandai, they had to move in. Several places, the soldiers had to move in to calm the thing. That's what resulted in, your friends say, 2020 in Teshima incident.
Yeah, Teshima incident.
Once you call them, and all the places that they called the soldiers, they came in to come and calm the place. We have to be fair to them. But the truth is also that it is true, say, and can you bet my year better than what we have done. But the election process itself, no, I don't think that we should blame anybody. Trust me, if the election was 50-50, I'm not sure that the NPP people would have just mellowed the way they did. And Kayenim said, look, in 2020, by 1 o'clock, we knew you're winning elections. In 2016, by 1 o'clock, we knew you're winning elections. There was no way the NDC could do it. People are forgetting that in 2016, the NDC faced similar problems. By 1 o'clock, you say you're winning side election. So we asked Jake to go, McMenu and Jake to go. I said Jake McMenu to go and do the announcement, but we had to hold on a bit. So by 3 o'clock, we told the nation, say you're winning elections. No, it was very easy, and we took over. The difference is that we're not violent. They say NDC for the Omuye, we're not violent, but we took over the process because we had won the elections.
Do you think the decisions? Yes, the Election Security Task Force
has always been headed by the
IGP. Good.
Since 2008, Election Security Task Force nationally has always been headed by the IGP. Oba regionally is headed by the regional police commander.
Yes.
Oba constituency is headed by the district police commander. It's always been like
I agree.
On election day.
On election day, but the decision said on election day, no soldier for the baby.
It's always been the same. Always. A soldier for there's no soldier deployed at any polling station in any election.
Then maybe we did not do a stress test of that arrangement. But when the arrangement was tested, they failed.
Since 2008, no soldier has been standing at polling station. Except only few isolated polling stations. You feel say Abia, Ekosiisen, there will be tension. Then they try to put soldiers around there. Even this one, you say you feel said there could have been issues. They could have put soldiers there. And every IGP who is the head, and the way he goes about his things, I think this IGP was very resolute. Say, hey, soldier for we stay when we need you, we'll get you. It has its advantages and disadvantages. But
from what we saw,
because baby I'm free, I'll be the last person to start blaming security agencies. Mbwa Ghana. What you say?
But
if it's a private conversation, there's something.
Yes, I know. But there are those who believe, say, because the president was the commander-in-chief of the armed forces, when it became clear, say, situation at the police for one people were expecting to hear something from the president command the soldiers to go and calm.
Okay. The mistake is that the president did anyway. But the mistake is is a president comes from a political party that was contesting elections.
Yes.
There was nowhere you expect the president to ask a soldier for say Munkwaji police for to it will bring chaos to the nation. The prime focus of every president is to make sure say he keeps the nation in peace. So you have to balance all actions vis-a-vis the interests of the nation.
Yes.
Mikai said the next day the president did speak and asked that they should make sure say they bring peace and bring whatever chaos the NDC was trying to do to a standstill, and then we'll do that. And especially when the vice president conceded, even with that the EC talking, it was enough for the NDC. But on one that's even the time they were doing it more, led by even some people who are ministers today. Very unfortunate. It was very unfortunate, and I think say we should learn lessons from that and allow the electoral commission to do their work. Listen, Minia, if you are a electoral commissioner, you are my brother, you can't help me win election. No. If the people decide, say, there's nothing you can do. You sit in Accra here. The most important people in electoral commission are the people down there, the returning officers and the people down at the communities. And there is nothing you can do. Charlotte said, people thought she didn't like Akufo-Addo. She declined him. There's nothing you can do. What do you mean? You can't do anything. When the results come and the person who you even like has lost, the person has lost. What do you mean? There's nothing. If the people of Ghana decide, say, Abanu, there's nothing you can do. You can't do anything. You can't help the person. What do you mean? You can't do anything. Except, say, a very, very close election. Even with that, it's difficult. You may try it. You may try. We haven't had that thing, but it's very, very difficult. You can't do much. You can't do anything. If you can help her before elections, there are certain steps that you can take before elections that may help somebody in a way. But election day, they declare at the polling stations, me want me pink shit. Look, I took all my pink shits, gave it to my brother or the coffee. He took it immediately to the house. Called Lucky and Sana. He came back because we scanned all of them immediately. Yes, scanning BBR. So we had all the scanned copies immediately. And then he took the original away. So you can cheat me. Who want me? Yes, you can't do anything about it.
Would you recommend the same security arrangement in 2024? Say police won't take control, soldier for baby.
So I don't see why there will be a change.
Why shouldn't they with what we saw?
Oh, it's not going to be possible. There will not be a single soldier at the polling station. Not one. There is not going to be one.
Not even at the collation center.
The same arrangement that happened, that will be the arrangement. Well, that's the arrangement we have taken. There is nothing government can do. And I don't think government will even try it. Especially when they've championed the fight to ensure, say, it will be very difficult to have it. It will be very, very difficult. I don't think even the soldiers themselves will even try.
But then that would mean, say, we would be sitting on a time bomb.
There's no time bomb. There's no time bomb.
Because now, Obia who said the strategy is to lay ambush and attack collation center.
If you attack collation center, you have smart candidates. Pink sheets. What can you do to that candidate? Why? Martin in Teshima won because no one pink sheets. You can't do anything. You think, say, if the candidates who are there, if they come pink sheets all set, what can you do? You can't do anything. The electoral commission will use the pink sheets to declare 2008. Zabzugo, they use their pink sheets to declare 2008, and they declared John Benham in Tamale for a police pink sheets, and they declared it based on the pink sheets. And yet, once they seal the box, pink sheets. Yes. So the candidates must be trained to know, say, the pink sheets are the king, the most important document on day of election. That's why you are giving a scanned copy of the pink sheet. You can't blame the electoral commission. That's what I'm saying. Electoral commission they can't help anybody. You just do your work. I don't know why they attack the electoral commission in Accra. What are you attacking them for? If your twin brother, say twin brother who knew Ankasa your electoral commissioner, but on the day of election, if the people vote against you, they voted against you. If they vote for you, you have won. It's as simple as that. When you can't do anything on the day of election. Maybe before. Maybe some steps you have to take. Like what they were gerrymandering, like NDC. Now, gerrymandering in 2008 by creating constituency. That's gerrymandering. If the electoral commission allows it, then they will bring this nation to a halt. But say, gerrymandering, and it is just strictly what we have. And you go and vote. Who lose? What we knew or what we knew. There's nothing you can do. What that electoral Charlotte your friend Jane. Jane will sit in a car and help you. How is she going to vote in Bimbla? Does she even know Bimbla? Only one was Bimbla. How is she going to help you? By law is the returning officer only no bet choose your friends the people are
polling station electoral officers
and you go to as a political party who are to me say you call list you scan the list and protest against anybody city committee ne feel say what you are saying is right, they'll kick out that person. We feel say the person is correct now, they'll put that person there. So you have all this, there are checks and balances. Then they will go and vote. What they'll do is that they will give you a scanned copy, all the candidates. We have 3 candidates. Scanned copy. I say scanned copy, carbon copy, because the paper no carbonated until we try. All the 3 will get. To your agent. One chooses our agent, and yet the electoral commission. So your agent is expected to bring you your pink sheet. If you don't take your pink sheet, that's your problem. And your electoral commission. And then what they do at coalition is just to add up the pinches. And son, I remember coalition center, I knew I had won the election by 5,300.
That's a difference.
Difference. Let me say my winning.
Where your biggest difference ever?
No, the smallest.
Oh, this is actually your smallest.
The smallest.
Meaning diminishing returns?
It's not diminishing, of course. Own him say election where they had its own dynamics.
Wave na blue.
Oh, you're strong, Obako. People who even had 20,000 different lost.
But where your
we had over 20,000 different. You lose
almost 30,000.
But we lost. So
where your fifth term in parliament?
Sixth term in parliament.
Sixth.
Yep.
Sixth term. That should be 24.
I'll do 23 because I came by election.
Yeah, you came by election. To be 23 years.
Yes.
You still have the desire to represent your people.
That's not for me to decide. I'll be unfair to the people if I tell them whether they call and answer 1 month.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I'm not even God. Meaning
But at least sometimes as a person, you can say that
my duty is
passion has waned.
Passion. You should see what I'm doing in Parliament, even as defense minister. You should see what is going on in Parliament. Listen, it's my duty to explain to the people of Ghana, say NPP, bad. The policy of Akufo-Addo were not bad. They be. And it's my duty to explain to people. And it's part of what we are doing, the explanation. And the man say, we did with the best of our intentions. You may have your problems. I don't have a problem about that. Who problem against me? That's your mindset. You need problem. But it's my duty, say, me catch him say, with all the good intentions. Maybe maybe but it is important to explain to people. And I feel, say, if NPP is able to explain itself well and let the people of Ghana know what they were doing, there will be a lot of changes. There will be surprises in 2008.
You couldn't do that when you were in power.
I'm saying
in opposition.
But we did that between 2013 and 2016. I was deputy leader. Me say, when you are in government, there are several things. People don't even listen to you. It's just like you and your wife. If some bad blood comes in, papa meanwhile, somebody outside will look and say, oh, but when but you see people fighting. Yes. It's like that. When you are in government, who could do beer? Say, even with all your good intentions, maybe people in tears. They even take your good intentions to be bad.
So you don't think it was a problem with more communication as a government? Of
every government, say 2016, President Mahama came out against the communication has lost the communication. It's always like that. So I'm not going to blame people just for the sake of blaming people. I feel there were issues. We should identify the issues. We should do the right thing. Our people did a good thing. If they had voted for the NDC, it would have been a disaster for us. They sat home to tell us that we are your members, but we are not happy about one or two things.
How do you know that? How do you know they sat home?
But it was clear. Akufo-Addo in 2020, even during
no two elections are the same.
Akufo-Addo got 6.7 million people in 2020.
Yes.
We got 4.8. About 2 million and some few thousands on top. Mahama got about 200,000 more, even with 1.7 million people registering. So there are people who decided, say, in spite of COVID, in 2020, in spite of COVID, the danger of COVID, COVID is still there, but still they went and lined up, struggling to vote NPP. But this time they refused to come out.
Asempa FM
2020. I'm just telling you the sacrifices are in spite of the fact that there was COVID. They decided, say, they were struggling, they lined up, they were touching each other. They had the now when you say COVID, but they still did. But this election, it was not like that. But still, they decided, say, So I, in my heart and in my consolation, I know say no. Say your choir will be able to explain. And you remember that I have more constituency. So I know the NPP people in my constituency who didn't vote.
In Bimbila.
Yes, I know. I know them. I know that there are people who are NPP who just thought say into. And just say it's not development. It's not. There are issues, and it's across the whole country. So, for example, there are 6 constituencies, the 6 regions just within the southern sector. 6, it accounted for almost 80% of those who voted in 20 and didn't come out. So I'm saying, we have an opportunity as a party to go out there and explain to our people. But if you started and come among ourselves, me person me ye president, me person me ye MP, me person me ye say, and you start fighting among yourselves, you are going to have the same result.
The same results in 2028.
Yeah. But the MDC, you say they had just one person. There was no competition. Umunina name say Mahama is our candidate. 2012, 2016, 2020, 2024, 4 times. Where your candidate? All those who were contested were just dress their hairs out for future elections. They knew say Mahama is our candidate. So the party was very united from the ground to the top behind him. So nobody will lie, say, we scar, they are thieves, they are stealing, we are assassins, we just say there was nothing like that. Okay, yes. Somebody to say, oh, they are stealing, they are government. If your own people come and tell you, say, Obi, you are there, and sometimes you are facing some money issues. You are NPP NIPA. Someone come and say your own people are stealing. Your minister, your DC, government appointees, they are stealing. What do you expect the person to do?
Indeed, the seeds of apathy, were planted during internal primaries.
Not just internal primaries. It was a combination of several factors. Maybe government officials' behavior, maybe internal primary, maybe presidential primary, maybe MP primary, several maybe actions of government. There are several things. I feel say the seed of apathy was planted, and I'm saying we should be thankful as a party to our supporters. Say they refuse to go and vote NDC. Maybe for 2 reasons. Maybe I won't pay NDC. And answer won't pay Mahama as a person. Maybe I get a different person or maybe different party to vote. But the truth is that 1 or 2. And that's good for us. And me feel say if we do our homework well and go to our people to talk to our people and stop destroying each other. 1 month into election, we're already going around destroying one another. Are they?
1 month after elections.
After elections. You're going. Are they? Why?
But is it happening?
We are talking. People, we are just going around talking. Why are people not holding press conference as to when a person or your flag? What is it for?
Yeah, but that's internal.
1 month. Democracy. 1 month. 1 month. Just 1 month.
Say Ufri.
Look, we lost an election. Yes, our people didn't come on, but the fact is still that we have 88 MPs. That's a fact.
Yes.
Yes. The fact is that we got 41. Our candidate got 41%. Yes, our people didn't come and hear himself, but that's still the fact. That's what the history at the end will tell.
Yes.
So we should tone down all of us. If we really want to win, if you feel that this is the candidate you want to win, tone down. Whatever you want to discuss internally. Why are we all out and talking on FM? People are talking. Big party people, they are coming to blame people and say, where are you say? It was because of this, that. Who are we talking to? We go to platforms, you bet trouble brave. Who are we talking to? Why? Who are we talking to? And you feel sad people are not listening to what you are saying and they won't use it against you. Look, elections, it is said. It is said a police near Obechung. He will tell you that you are under arrest. Whatever you say will be used against you in the court of law. Yes, I know.
Yes.
Yes. Whatever you say, and remember in 2028 they will use against you. And whatever you say, and if I come to them, I'm running down people say, where you say this CEO now, you say minister winner, you say Nitiwul, you say where you say Akufado, you say minister where you say this party person, or you say they will use it against you in 2028. They will use it against you.
But now we can't near factual. Is it not also factual, sir? This election was a referendum on the performance of Akufo-Addo.
I can't tell. Yanchen for the committee to come out
to come out with the more report.
That's all I've always said to NPP. We've set a committee. Let the committee come out. If you feel that the committee is not going to do it, set up your own committee and do it. Every candidate should set up what happened within his constituency. I'm setting up one in my constituency. What happened in my constituency? When we put all this together, we will know exactly what happened. Whether it's a referendum on Akufo-Addo, a referendum on the governance of the party, it's a referendum on the party. It is the party that causes it. It's the government appointees that causes it. It's the party itself. Our attitude. We'll know. Whether it's spiritual, whatever. But for us to start concluding, say, hey, it's obvious, this, that. If you knew that, why are you setting up the committee? Sound him out, then why are you setting up the committee? For what? All I'm saying is, we should all keep quiet. And quiet. Remember, politics, and then they're overkind, watching and they will use it against you. Whether you are Kojo Kurun supporter or you Kwame supporter or you wine supporter, if you say anything or China, the people will use it against you.
The other thing will be, and because you are from the northern part of the country, in the history of my party, when the first time when you're a northerner as flag bearer of your party, and the way the elections went, voter party flag bearer across the country, there are those who believe say, okay, I mean, we've given our brothers opportunity, this is the results they've given us, let's yensaimra back na yemefa akan phone lead the party. What do you think?
So in the history of NPP, who went first time and won? When are you winning first shot?
No, nobody.
That's all I'll say to you. So if you are a northerner, you go first time and want me win, then northerners might be blamed. Sir, is that how it's supposed to be? Mahama, how many times did Mahama go?
He won his first attempt
on the back of Mills.
Sure, in 2012.
When he himself decided as an individual,
that's 3 times.
How many times did he go?
3.
I think so. We should be fair to people. I'm not defending anybody, but we should be fair to people. Oh, northerners, this. The northerners, yes, we may seem as one, but we are not the same. We have different tribes in the north. We are totally different. Mika Konkoma, the Gomba ni onti, he cannot even understand the Mika. Maybe say Anakujo, Obia or your friends are onti, or Gusas ni onti. Or the Gati Neonti, you will not understand. Maybe an Ashanti might even understand because Moko Toba here. So until Umunim there, a friend of Kujo, that is good evening. Umunim, and then we maybe Basari New Betty, maybe Chamba, will be our free Chamba, or your friend in Chamba, or maybe a Grumani Betty, Bimoba will understand. The rest Umunim there, a friend, and then we. That is good afternoon. So we should not be judging people as a group, say you feel. I think that's wrong judgment. Our history as a country, maybe in future, somebody will be able to, a very likable, or somebody will be able to do that. But, and then we haven't had anybody, or first time now winning elections. That's also to say, the election results was unexpected. Even though we knew, there were problems in Accra. Because we're doing polls. And him said Ashanti, Apathy was becoming a problem in Ashanti. We're doing 65 to 65, around 65%. That. But as we went on with the campaign, now things were getting better and better and better and better. Intina me see, young trying for the committee to finish his job.
It's where.
And if it marries with what me Ankasa, me constituency, me feel it is that I will take it everything and work with it. You say war committee report of 2020. They can't say 2024 committee report and we'll do our work dispassionately. I feel say we will be good to go. And I feel say as normal. Every election, there are a lot of faces who between 2016 and 2024 going forward. You will see those faces. There'll be new faces, new ideas. There are a lot, and it's normal. How many of the old faces are during Mills time? They are still there. How many of Mahama's first time old faces are there? Still there? Yeah. It will happen. So every political party evolves. That's why and then they'll come and take over from you. It's always like NPP. By the time NPP will win power in 2028, there will be maybe about 80-90%, maybe people you don't even know, or people who are fresh, or people who have not even held position before. It's normal. Spices of one or two people are ministers and that kind of stuff may find themselves holding positions either as ministers or not as ministers, or not even at all. You can never tell. But all I'm saying is to lump everybody together will be very, very unfortunate. I don't think you're right. And to blame people, say, oh, want me and winning into young South and that kind of stuff. I don't think they chose Baumia on the basis of being a northerner. I don't think that was the basis.
You don't think it was a major consideration?
It may have been, but I don't think that was the ultimate consideration. That it was. He was very competent in our view as a party. He's a good man. You can't take corruption on him. Ghanaians look for someone who's respectful, someone who would not insult people, someone who would not brash. And people looked at that and felt, say, if you send this candidate, they will buy. Of course, there were issues during the elections. So let's find out what are the issues. It's as simple as that. I don't know who will be the candidate in 2024 because people haven't come out.
In 2028?
28, meaning, I don't even know. Me sitting here,
but you wish for Baumia to begin.
Me sitting here, I will contest. I'm old enough to contest an election. I don't even know whether I will be candidate. I won't be candidate. I don't know whether you are getting me. I have not asked Baumia whether he will be candidate or he will not be candidate. But I'm saying, me Nitiwul sitting down here. We should all put all these things aside and wait until the committee has come out with its report.
With its report.
And one more. If I were to say I wish Baumia or I don't wish Baumia, I will not be doing even Baumia himself or the party any good. As a senior member, 6-time member of parliament, and this is what I'm going to start. I'm destroying the party. The very thing I'm advising against, I think that it will be very, very wrong. All I'm saying to you, Nisei, we shouldn't destroy each other. You have big chance. Because NDC will not be able to govern well. We'll help them. We are not going to be like them. We will not be nation wreckers. We will not try to pull them down. What they're trying to do and e-levy. When government brought it, they started teaching people, say, Mundojini say, or go to the forest, don't go to the pref and tell the people, Munko Forest Bureau, go and buy, don't mind this thing. Go and look for your dollar outside so that the dollar will rise. And all kind of things. We are not that type of person. I think that if the people of Ghana will vote for you, it's not about being reckless. It's not about the fact, say, who per se are being fairly. No, not at all. It's also true. Say, you win on the back of the fact, say, government, onto me and Yeshi. Already we have 3 fuel increases. Is it NPP that caused it? They get the impression, say, fuel no increase. They are already 3 fuel increases. Is that today? Guel is struggling to sell. Is it the X? What? This their premium.
If anything,
the premium fuel. No, they are struggling to sell it at 23 cities. How much was it when people was leaving power? So I'm just telling, just 1 month. 1 month. So I'm telling you, the NPP should tone down. Whatever we want to discuss, we've discussed enough. Let's go to the room. Let the elders call everybody to the room. Let's discuss whatever we want to discuss. Let's blame each other. Let's box ourselves in the room. That's how an army wins an election. A war.
A war.
We are soldiers. You go and be fighting amongst yourselves outside. You've lost the battle in advance. You fight in the room. Choose your generals and let them go out there and lead you. And everybody follows the general. You say now, you say now, do this, but you don't go outside as an army and start fighting among yourselves. You are players, and then you go on the soldiers. You see players arguing among. We support such a team. So soldiers, if players are arguing, your mistake, and then they'll be shouting on each other and arguing, and you say shouting and do. you think that these people are not serious. They don't know what they are doing. They should do this in their room and come out and play as a unit. If you do a mistake, you pat him on the back and encourage him. But
a lot of more comeback, no, and as a more possible comeback, no, in 2028 is hinged on more 88 now, more parliaments.
When you're 88 it's the entire party.
No, I know, but I won't say more because I might draw parallels between more any more MPs and what the 96th parliament, you know. Say you are inspired by a Juma Moye. Eba parliament, and after 4 years, we the party in Eba power, and no places some onerous responsibility on you in parliament. So because more opposition, the parliamentary caucus, no, there are like differences the face of the party.
Everywhere, parliamentary caucus is face of the party. In opposition, every party.
Yes, but
there are differences.
Are they?
96 parliament, they position themselves to say, we have the men, the gravitas. Ufadu, that kind of stuff.
Yes.
They won't fight anybody. They won't insult anybody. They just do the work. That's how they position themselves. We are going to position ourselves as a group of people who will do what an opposition has to do.
That is fight.
Debbie, that's the last thing. Why will we fight anybody? For what?
But what would you do?
I'm saying, say, government brings its policy. We will bring the alternative of that policy for people to see, say, hey, the government be in the This is what you promise. This is what you are delivering. If you had done it this way, it would have been better. But fight physically, there be. Ghana has moved beyond this physical fight. We are going to criticize government constructively, suggest to government constructively. Matisse will be saying, oh, but these people are failed. Why are you listening to them? Then they don't understand democracy. Failed where? Who told them that we are failed? We will constructively criticize government, point out their mistakes to them, ask them. If they refuse, that's their own headache. But we will do what an opposition has to do and make sure, say, we put government on its toes. The resources are your taxes, the government will ensure that government will do its work well. Make no mistake. So, about Parliament, ever promises say, so your mind in a month's time, we will go there to ensure that thing is done. Say yes, so we'll tell the people that you are deceiving the people. So, the policies of your joy we are kasa, we say, those kind of days are gone. We are not going to be armchair politicians. We will go to the field and do the work with the people. Because that's how opposition is supposed to work. You are the alternative government. What policies? You remember your manifesto. You see, Galamsey fight. We had our blueprint. Baumia had a blueprint. This is what we want to do. We'll compare to what government is trying to do. And she say, the best stop. You brought water. Because the government brought water to come and say, oh, the water are all spot. People on the gallery say, today, there is worse. It's Etiwa Forest. If you think I'm joking, go to Etiwa Forest and see the number of people who have jumped onto the Etiwa Forest. For the first time, even during the NPP time, more call Etiwa Forest. You go and see what is happening there. You go there to Etiwa. I'm sure someone will me. And they will know. Said people have gone onto the Etiwa Forest. Go to Oda and see the area. What is going on? Everywhere people have taken over. And they are mining like there's no tomorrow. So I'm saying, say, if you promise the people, say, the MPP, until you say, and you are not doing well, it's our duty to point out to you. Say, you were doing this, we say, what we're doing, and yet, until so why are you not doing that?
They are barely a month.
We don't have a problem with that. We don't have a problem with that.
You are prepared to give them.
And we are giving them all the long rope that they want, but we'll do our work as opposition. A day, yebi. Week, yebi. Year, yebi. Our work is to give them that. But in a month, why do you discontinue all the court cases against people who have in charge of corruption?
Yeah, Nole Prosekai. AG has the power to do that.
So, are you going to arrest your political opponents?
If there is...
Let me give you an example. A contract is awarded for $200 million for 5,000 houses.
Yes.
It turns out that you have not been able to do even 1,500 houses for people to occupy. Somebody is going to court. You discontinue with the case. And yes, sir. And Ochina, you are going to arrest another person because that person belongs to another political party. How will people take you? You go and Obi what case say what transfer 450 million Ghana cedi into a bank that he knew was collapsing, and that money has gone to the drain. The next day, you make him governor of the Bank of Ghana. The governor of the Bank of Ghana. How do you expect the international community to look at that person? Or China, you're going to arrest somebody because that person is an NPP member. Will you have the moral justification to do that? I've just shown you the lands that NDC people and including members of parliament need some ministers and those kind of things. You are left them. You are arresting the NPP people because to me and will you have the moral justification to do that? Tamale Calendar Park. Yes. You gave out, it was state land. You gave all those land during the NDC time. And Ochina, you are coming to arrest somebody because you claim say he also gave out land during his time. Will you have the moral justification to do that? You gave out aviation lands, and then Ochina, you come and say, you are arresting NPP people because they also gave out state lands. Will you have the moral justification to do that? You gave out Botima lands to some people, including current members of parliament and current ministers. Some of them are ministers. And tomorrow you say you are coming to arrest an NPP person and you've discontinued cases. Cases say, let the law go and let the law set the person free.
Yeah, but as part of the due process of law is the fact that the AG has powers to discontinue or withdraw cases.
You can continue or you can discontinue or withdraw cases. Meaning,
Yes. And he doesn't have to explain to anyone.
But that's a wrong thing to do.
Yeah, that's what
AG no prosecute another person because only they are MPP member and that's all CPP member. But does he have the justification to be able to do that? Moral standing to be able to do that? Obi a charge will be for causing financial loss with all the cases. You don't allow the court to decide who they because of what power say me prosecute the next day you can catch a political opponent say who the near court. Will you have the moral justification to do that? Will you? Will you? But we are all Ghanaians, and yes, sir. Yes. Because you're a party member, you can just no possible case where but Ochina go and catch an MPP member because only the MPP member. So if MPP comes to power, they also discontinue. Is that what you want? Is that how you are going to run the country?
The criticism and some of your party people can say you were in power for 8 years. These people were in court. I mean, the cases did not progress. And if a new government about, then now withdraw cases you are to blame.
It's wrong, sir. Because we are in power, you should jail people. Let the law take its course. By the end of the day, justice will be done. 5 years old, you should be praised Akufo-Addo for that rather than condemn him. Say because or your presidency 8 years mean jailing Nipano. We don't do that. Let the law take its course. If at the end of the day there will be a day for judgment, let the law take its course. If it's 10 years, there will be a day that the judge will make judgment. We are waiting for the judge to make that judgment. No. But yes, because to me, what are you going to do? Call that judge and tell him, say, me per se, wrap case within my 8-year mandate, and that's over here. That's wrong. I don't think that's correct. You should be praising the government rather. Say, people are being taken to court, they are taken through process, and they are not forcing the judges. I don't even think, we should even have the situation whereby a government has the ability to force a judge to sit on a case and then say, jail somebody or pass judgment before my time comes. You're wrong. I don't think that's a country we should build. We should isolate the courts completely. I don't think so. So nobody should say 8 years, why didn't you? Yes, they were being prosecuted. All of those cases were being prosecuted, but they didn't finish.
Very well. We say, Obi, food and drink couples must step aside and allow strategic thinkers and analysts to spearhead the journey to rebuild and recapture power. Fantastic submission by Honorable Nitiwul. Please convey my regards to him and remind him that we still have an outstanding matter. Samuel Brian Boabing. Okay, this one says, Obi, the Ghana Armed Forces is still in the past. Why is it that a lieutenant colonel is assigned 9 soldiers to serve them? My cousin is a driver to one of the officers in Burma camp. He is so abused by the general's wife to the extent that he missed his son's birthday because he had to drive his boss's wife to Takwa. He works for this man Monday through Sunday and sometimes called off leave to come do domestic duties for his boss's wife. Obi, I'm a captain in U.S. Air Force and can tell you there is a major difference in how enlisted soldiers are treated in Ghana and in the US of A. I've trained with some Ghanaian Air Force pilot at Maxwell Air Force Base in Alabama, and they are always shocked how enlisted officers and how enlisted soldiers and officers mingle to get the mission done. In the U.S. Armed Forces, only generals are assigned aides for official functions, and they cannot be used for personal domestic purposes. I've attached this article for you to read.
Allegation is a personal experience, and people are different. Me say, they are different. I'm saying, if you are a commanding officer,
yes,
our commanding officers are the various garrisons. Your lieutenant colonels.
Yes,
you have a certain protocol of people that are assigned to you to work for you, because you're commanding a whole base. I don't think it's wrong. And the way he's saying, or treating Nipa and answer on treating, they are personal different. I don't know. I have to investigate and find out whether it is true and you're correct. But there are different people who treat people differently. When he says some people, they are guarding their house, they don't even give them food. Even water cry is difficult. Sometimes even they enter the house, and there are other people who they feed them just like their own 3 times a day, and they play with them. They sometimes even give them some small chop money. So there are different people who treat people differently. So I think it will be very difficult. But you say as a commanding officer, if you go to Tamale, the whole CO, and no place. I think that we should really look at it. It is not every general even here that has that number of people working with it. It depends on the office you occupy. And I feel he may misunderstand that if you are going for training, you are not carrying all the people that you are there. So if you are the trainer, you see people mingle. That's what it's supposed to be. Because who call training ground at Chancellor, for example, the officers mingle with the other people. It's supposed to be like that. Otherwise, you cannot. If you go to a war front, you cannot command your troops, because you have to earn the respect of your soldiers. For you to earn go to the hottest part of the battle, and it's just you have to have that respect. That soldier has to have much more respect for you. Because the bullets are flying there. You say, no, you go here and deal with this. Take your ammo and do this, wreck it for me, and do that. That maximum respect might be there. Otherwise, you uniform and then you fly into the bush and run away and leave you.
On 7th January, John Dramani Mahama was celebrating 1 month in office as president.
7th February,
sorry. And was celebrating 1 month. Is
3 days ago.
Is there anything I as president in 1 month I impress over?
I am not too sure that I'm going to give credit to him that others didn't have.
Okay.
What they needed to do as a president. I say the fastest time of setting up a government was under Akufo-Addo. He has beaten that record. So it's a good thing that he has also. But every president and the way they have come, I'm sure somebody will come and even do much better than what he has also done. So there are several things, but there are a lot of negatives that I feel.
In the 1 month?
Yeah. I just mentioned about the prosecutions that
Withdrawals.
Yeah, it's wrong. It's terrible. It's a horrible thing, and I feel I don't think that is that particular thing alone. It has created such a black
spot on what he's done in the last 1 month,
and it will follow him for the next 1 year. Yeah. Especially when you be straight away into a huge portfolio like
Bank of Ghana.
No, that credibility is gone. Governor, and the first thing you are taking somebody who was undergoing, if the person is voted for, to say it's Trump, no, it's different. But an appointed position, I think, you are testing the Ghanaian, the patients to.
Will you not find we say a very good? One of the first moves the president did was to write to the IGP, say Nipa Ewu during the 2020 elections, any 2024, on submit a report on the status of investigation.
Akufo-Addo has done this several times. IGP did 2 press conferences on those things. Two press conferences. Maybe I won't guy. Freno, Nambisano. 2 press conferences.
Yeah, but say you've been even blamed. Say soldiers acquired your mayor or Techima. No, nothing has happened to anybody. On my vetting, I told them what evidence say a soldier Fabra. I told Kujoto asked me that question. I told him him a soldier that did that. Fabra up to now. And I will not sit here and take it and say a soldier for acquire. They see what Techima.
Who told you that the soldiers who shot the people? When I catch us?
But what did the investigation say?
I'm saying that as IG, he will bring the report. You will see several times, even in cabinet, outside cabinet, is done press statements, there are press conferences to say, look, the Techiman incident, they have not been able to get a conclusive evidence. Nipa way or Nipa way. Several times.
But
and we even told Bisan
around.
Have you seen the person who did the shooting?
No.
I said several times, severally. Although it was some people who were around the candidate at that NDC candidate at that time now almost prosecute more. If you go to your friends
Ablekuma Central,
same thing. NDC for now almost prosecute more. If you go to Savlugo, it was an NDC candidate at that time, then MP, who later won, and his people that were prosecuting for holding guns and causing violence. Techiman, that's what I'm saying. If you feel this matter, and all of us are sad, somebody will lose his life, and says, bring whatever evidence you have. IGP has been asking for evidence up to now, so we're waiting. Maybe because of a change of government, maybe somebody will bring evidence. Maybe it was an Akufo-Addo now one person will file evidence. The IGP has served twice. He's done 2 your friends 2 press conferences and 2 press statements on this very matter. Beside Ambrose and even under Henry Quarter, same thing. President has always directed. Because I always had this, and they be your cabinet. I always said I don't want the situation whereby we will leave and somebody will say we're covering something because there's nothing to cover. All those cases, Bisa say when I was prosecuted, they were mostly NDC people that they were prosecuted, even in 2020. So I didn't want the situation. We didn't have a bad case. Why should we be hiding? Why? For what? Then people will blame us. But always NDC for MPP in a year. MPP in a year. So people were thinking, it's. So I said, bring out the report. So let's wait for the IGP to bring the report. And then if they conclusively say a soldier way and a policeman way or wait, then we'll all see. I'll be very happy.
Okay. We get to the bottom.
To the bottom of it, I'll be very, very happy. Because I will not sit for anybody to tarnish my image or the people I work with. Win a year. If anybody has any evidence, they should bring it. There are videos of shooting, yes. But we want to see whether there's any conclusive evidence. Say Nipa win a year or this, and soldier win a shooting way or that kind of stuff. No, the only person I remember said chip on him by election. Now one guy he took a gun and shot the guy in front of us, and the TVs captured it. Chiponi by election, he took a piece of pow, shot 3 people from Pomboatin. Doctor from Pomboatin operated on those people. Life. Nobody, he has not been punished up to now. Election violence. Life. Mikai said, that Metro TV even carried. I was there when the shooting was going on. In Chiponi, when the shooting was going, we all had to run because bullets start flying in the air. because we didn't want it. So I am clear in my mind. So look, if we come to a conclusive evidence, but you see, at this time when I don't have any evidence to say I saw your for the
if the IGP and the report, but now investigations they turn out say soldier for, would you be surprised?
I cannot say I will be surprised or I will not be surprised. Meaning, it will be very difficult for me to say you're surprised and you're answer me surprised because I don't know what it is. We are all looking for the facts.
Okay.
Facts, including Okujoto also facts. I said, bring the evidence. My vetting, go and look at my vetting. I challenge him. I said, who say who are facts are just propaganda? You bring it. Go and give it to police, IGP, and we'll make sure that those people are prosecuted. Up to now, no. So you're trying.
Very well. Honorable Mame Nase, I think it's been a great interview. Thank you so much for accepting to do this with us. We say, Obi, as a veteran of the U.S. military, I can state that not all soldiers are housed in the barracks. I rented an apartment as a private. However, I had monthly housing allowances. Dr. Ernest Anodompre, popularly known as Dr. Bacchus, Ohuto, Texas, US of A, and Odewe Abrain.
You know Ghana, so yes, a ben worker who own housing. You are paid 20% in lieu of that.
In lieu of
in Ghana, that law is the same thing.
Okay. Wow. One other thing, I think that the last question, the state of our presidential jet as you left it, no, it is saying
serviceable. It means it's in good condition.
Serviceable means in good condition.
Very good condition.
A bit long haul.
Bibia.
Sir.
Bibia. You can use it for anywhere. Bibia.
But what has changed from time and another? Now
from April 2024 to another has been using it.
April 2024.
Yep. Or you started using it.
Means that the intervening period.
We took it to France somewhere in July 2023.
Okay.
They call manufacturer for them to work on it. Stayed there for almost 8 to 9 months.
Oh.
And then came somewhere either March or April. Not first when they say January, but February, March. I think it came March, somewhere around March. And from April he started using it till
he left
office.
It is so in condition
from April 2024 and yet 2023 we see from April 2024 they he was using it all that time. They baby or person or uses our presidential jet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. On the night of Okujetomo vet and issues, but now committee in the that night.
I'm a member of the committee.
Yes.
But me
now what subject matter expert?
Subject matter expert me call. Omo inviting me say me you know say on our side I'm the longest serving member of parliament.
Okay.
You know.
In the minority now.
Yeah.
The longest
serving. The longest serving 5th timer. Then we have 5th, 2 Kwabi and then Nyumedu.
And you may do
okay. We are 5th. The rest now are 4 timers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And you are now the senior.
That's the problem. The turnover NPP no it's too bad.
Yeah.
The turnover is huge. And this for one bebre Haruna Mutaka bebre. Some are even 7 timers like Collins Dowder. But the turnover is sad. It's too bad. It's really, really sad. 2008 members of parliament, they are just 3. We need 2008 members. Me and you may do. That's it. 3. And this is 4. There are more than 15 crowd. So institutional memory, is on their side more than our side. I don't know why our side. I don't know what the problem is, but it's sad. The turnover, it's not good.
Wow.
NPP, it's sad. Yeah,
Wow, very well. And I believe, as many, you also regret the event of that evening.
I was there, and I feel it could have been avoided. I told the majority leader said it was very regrettable and could have avoided it. I don't think the majority chief whip should have moved to
Momo's side,
our side to try and push the chairs together. And I told him, you are in government. At the end of the day, you want government. You don't want this to be the news. You want government projects to.
But you also did not have to attempt separating the tables.
I think, sir, there are some things that opposition parties always do that sometimes outsiders may not understand. But in Parliament, those things are common. Even with their number, they'll try to flex muscles and whatnot. You try to see how you can be to accommodate everybody. That's why I respect Ayaga a lot that night. And I've always respected him, but that night I respected him more. His demeanor, the way he was trying to do things and talk to people. I went and told him, so into me, catch and for this is chairman, take a break. Say I want to take a break. I said, take a break and move all your members out. I said, move, because the people who were shouting more were the invited guests. Nipa now MPs, they were shouting and insulting. So I felt that maybe somebody may hurt somebody because there was no screening to see whether someone was carrying weapons or not. We began screening. So I didn't know whether, because of my background in security, I thought said maybe somebody would hurt somebody if there was a fight. Let me catch I am for take a break. Ask everybody to leave and take a break. He said, we have just come back. Ask him. So we have just come back. We met and we have just come back. I'm not going to take a break. I said, take a break. Take a break. Take a break. At that time, Ayaga hadn't come. When he walked in, I walked to the side. If you see the video, me moving from outside to his side to go and start engaging Ayaga. I said, hey, take a break. Majority leader. You are the majority leader. This is your government. Take a break. Because if something goes wrong, they'll say it was John Mahama's time that this happened. In Timu, take a break. So, you know.
Wow. Indeed, before the committee.
I think there's misunderstanding between majority and minority. Minority is yes, but if there is a chance for me to go back, I'll go and take the fact. I was there from the very moment to the end. I was there until the whole thing was over before me. I was there.
Wow.
Because the majority leader was very blunt. Say, transport minister. You per se vetted transport minister. We say you bet vetted 4 people. We are vetted 6. Inti transport minister is the last one. Okujo Tony Akanto, please. Akanto even tried to sit down, and he told him, don't sit down. Let transport minister sit down. Please let transport minister. So I told them, I speak the same language with the transport minister. I called him and told him that, look, Uja, sit down. I said, they will vet you, so you sit down. The people say you are the only one to vet. So Akanto rightfully agreed and made the transport minister sit down. Then we vetted the transport minister. After that, then they say, bring Akanto at 9. It's OTI. Our people started shouting, bring Akanto Ochina 9. We'll be here at 9 to vet him. Then the majority said, over their dead body, they are going to vet him. They can't do anything. Nobody, they are going to vet all of them to the other 2. FM. And you know, MPs. Then trouble started. That's how the trouble started. Because they say, Ochina 9 o'clock, you better vet Akanto. Any problem? They were shouting that they and Akanto don't have any problem. Akanto, there's 30 minutes, he will go, there's no problem. So you bring in Ochina 9, it's already 10 something. So bring him at 9 tomorrow, 10 p.m. So you bring Akanto Ochina 9, we'll be here at 9 and start the vetting at 9. You could hear it. If you play the tape, you will hear the tape. But the majority insisted that as far as they are concerned, they are going to vet the 2 people, Akanto and Okujoto, that night. And people too wanted to ask Okujoto questions. So they will not agree. It's as simple as that.
Anyways, but you attempted buying a new aircraft, presidential jet, right?
Never.
Man proposing.
Not presidential jet.
I think it was this multi-purpose jet. Okay.
I only made comments say if we're ever to buy a jet, we'll have to buy a bigger jet. But we never brought it.
Okay.
Mikai said, I'll come back. I'll make consultations across the country. FM. President, mayor consultations, party, opposition, mayor consultation, parliament. Say if the feeling of the people of Ghana is that Jetta and you was asker, I'll come back.
You come back.
And I never came back.
Okay.
I never came back.
That's fine. Honorable me and Nasi, I'm ready to Why? Thank you so much.
I mean, nah. Let me say, we have to do this over and over again.
Yeah, very important.
Michao pa. Why dear Michao? Michao.
Honorable Dominic Nitiwul.
Yes. Obi. Be mama. That's it.
Ekosiisen na Sempa FM. That's the former defense minister of the Republic and sitting MP, 6th time member of parliament for the people of Bimbilla constituency. Bimbilla or Upper East or West?
Northern region.
Oh, Northern region. Now the Northern region proper.
Northern region proper.
Okay. That's nice. Ekosiisen Moma Yinti, your brafo with Akon. Take a listen.